is Woody, and today we have got some awesome brawling in the World Championship. I'm joined with Ark. We are going to be your commentators for the first match. Ark, take it away.
Yesterday was just absolutely insane, and I have no doubt that today will be just equally as, if not more so. Up first, we've got Qlash LATAM versus KGP, followed by Qlash LATAM versus INTZ, and then KGP versus INTZ.
These are three superstar teams, but I really have to highlight INTZ, a squad that is on the global leaderboard at 7th position and by far ahead of every other team in their region. They are certain to qualify for Worlds and are really going to put on an excellent show today. Take a look at their point total, 240, nearly double the next spot. But KGP, formerly Red Canids, is an amazing team that has a great history of competitive success. We'll see how they perform in this month's event. You can see the other 5 teams that have also qualified to their Ark.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you say, INTZ definitely the giants of the LATAM South region. But as we saw yesterday, Qlash did qualify for Worlds in the European region as well. Still 2 spots left. And we may even see one of those be a bit more known to us later as to how that might unravel in the NA region later. But we'll have to wait and see as far as that goes. Right now, let's take a look at the Qlash LATAM and KGP teams.
Qlash brings Alchemical, Gozera, and Edinho to their battle today. They'll be going up against KGP's Grigul, Kada, and Parzival, looking for the holy grail of victory. $9,000 is the first place prize for the region this month. Let's take a look at some gameplay from these teams in their previous matches.
Yeah, like you rightly say earlier as well, KGP not a team to be trifled with, very, very strong. But Qlash LATAM have been a very, very dominant team throughout this competition. They've been very consistent for the most part, actually, and just maybe overshadowed a little bit by INTZ, but nonetheless, they've got some very, very good players that I would absolutely be keeping a keen eye on.
And of course, we all know Qlash EU, their sister clan in a different region, has got a big name to themselves. Possible world qualifier contenders. They have got some great scrims going on in the background, I'm sure of that. But KGP, formerly the Red Canids, have also got a big name to uphold. Huge competitive success in this region from this squad in the past, and a great story carrying them to today. Have qualified once again for this massive competition, and have got thousands of dollars riding on their performance, which will be wrapping up in just a couple short hours.
Yep, and the bans are in. Qlash LATAM are banning Gale straight off the bat. We didn't see much of Gale yesterday. We're not going to maybe see much of him again today. And Mr. P, who was not actually banned at all yesterday. So interesting to see him being on the ban. We didn't see much play rates actually from Mr. P yesterday either. So that'll be interesting to see play out. But the first map up will be some assembly required. The game mode will be Siege. And with those bans in mind, Woody, what are your thoughts looking ahead in the game to come?
Well, I'm expecting to see a lot of Surge. He was a popular ban pick yesterday and is one of the meta options that a lot of teams have been turning to whenever he becomes available. But also a lot of Barley. He wasn't banned at all, but was played on pretty much every single map. Anytime you've got obstacles that you can hide behind, Barley is one of the best throwers in the game alongside Sprout and can get some fantastic value, area of effect control with that splash damage going everywhere and slowing enemies down with that sticky toxin. We're already ready for the first game, though. Let's get into it, Ark.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see how the gameplay today is going to differ from yesterday, now that you rightly say Surge is on the cards here. And coming straight out the gates, it seems, for KGP. Kadu going to take that mid lane, and yeah, an abundance of Barley too. Some Jackie and BB for speed. So yeah, I like what I'm seeing right now.
I like that Surge gadget as well, popping forward and staying frosty, moving all around the arena, but not catching any bolts yet. KGP pretty unlucky with the early spawns, and Qlash, I gotta say, held their own in the midfield, not pushing very far in, just close enough to get those bolts, all 6 of them in their hands, gives them that first level 4 siege bot. That's gonna be some solid, reliable damage on the Ike, as KGP have really failed to defend.
I mean, it really might have even been a 1 push, and it might still be. Look at this, Woody! Oh my goodness me! The fire being brought early on by Qlash with a 1 push in Siege. You do not see that often.
Destruction Derby for Qlash LATAM, a very rare occurrence, but every single bolt in their pocket, they took it all the way to the bank and cashed that in for a massive blast at that enemy Ike, obliterating it and claiming game number 1 in this best of 3 set. Of course, we have 5 sets for these players to compete in, and the first team to take 3 of them will win the whole thing. That could be the first of 6 games that Qlash LATAM needs to win this match.
KGP have got to be a lot more on the defense. They've got to be much more aware. Even a small push like that, if supported by the team and the players, can really make it count. And they dropped the ball there for me. KGP definitely needs to do more and lock down these things. They are actually going to swap out Surge and bring in Spike there, which is an interesting play.
And it's time for Service with a Smile. Barley coming in from both teams, and it looks like Parzival serving up those delicious pies has got the edge over Adino right now, holding court in the middle right now. He is going to be getting lots of tips for that great performance so far. Grabbing that first siege, they'll get a level 3 bot on their side, but Alchemical and Gozira can deal a ton of damage close range. They are whacking away at it and playing heavy defense early on.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of damage going down for Qlash LATAM, but a quick respawn in from Alchemical X should get a bit done, and Guzera coming in with a few swipes. 30% damage by KGP, much better than the first round, it's safe to say, but they've got to hold them in control here, and definitely a bit of pressure being applied by Alchemical X in this left-hand lane, but for the most part, KGP are doing a good job of holding ground.
Regal is playing this Spike so well. He could deal a ton of damage close range, but ooh, got a little bit too close that time for Guz0, whose bat can just knock enemies apart. A home run for Qlash as they knock KGP out of the middle, and yet still haven't gotten enough bolts to deny them the siege bot. Down just 1, that's all it takes to give your opponents a big bot, but level 6 isn't too much for them to deal with. This Ike might still survive, and that will give them a chance to strike back again, but can they hold on? That's a lot of damage!
That is a lot of damage. That's too much damage for the Qlash Ike. It will go down. And KGP looking a ton better that round than they were in previous. It definitely seems like swapping out Surge and bringing in Spike made the biggest of differences for me, and a much, much different team as a result.
Huge smack back right in Qlash's face. KGP have evened up this race and are on pace for the reverse sweep of set number 1. Maybe they found the magic secret sauce to put into those pies and give Barley and Spike just what they need to deny Qlash this first win. But it's all going to come down to this third and final game of this set. There are no ties in this siege round that we've ever seen in the World Championship, so expect to see the winners get this first bot here and now. A big advantage for Qlash as they've already knocked out one of their opponents, and that's going to be a big hold on into the middle. Qlash's Guz0 firing away and keeping a big lead right now for his team.
Yeah, we're going to see some brawler switch-ups as well. Both teams swapping out and going with Jean at the same time, which is interesting to see. Greekle, though, did miss a super, and that's going to be troublesome on defense now as Guzera putting down the herbal tonic there for his teammates to heal up as well. This is much like the pressure we saw from Qlash in the previous round. And look at the damage, Woody. This is crazy. 70%, and it's still ticking.
KGP cannot stand to take another bot at all. They have really got to establish themselves in the midfield super fast and get that bolt count up, because Qlash have got a lead on them already and are stacking even more metal on their side of the arena. Adino grabs another bolt and will deny Guigle access. They are just some really tanky brawlers there on the side of Qlash. Adino doing a fantastic job denying access, and that might be all she wrote right there. A level 6 siege bot can definitely get 26% damage. Will KGP be able to defend?
Oh, absolutely. I think in the first round, Qlash did it with like a level 4, and they could do it in the 1 push. So, yeah, easy damage raining down by Qlash. They will take this first set, but it was a bit of a back-and-forth affair. Qlash finding their footing again in that third game to bring it home.
They swapped out Spike. I can't believe that they got a great win in game number 2 and then gave up what might have been their biggest pickup there. But hey, you got to try to predict what brawlers your opponents are going to be bringing and respond in kind. They both went for Jean that time, and as you can see, Guigle there getting a pretty good pull as Gene can work very well on both offense and defense to deny access to those bots and also to grab enemies that are holding on to bolts, but just couldn't get the pulls that they needed that time. Pretty close stat line here, though, as KGP actually had more damage dealt overall, though they couldn't get it onto the enemy Ike.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and I do see a lot of people in the Twitter scene. Actually, let's talk about the next game mode up next first. It's going to be Heist, Tornado, Ring. So definitely some different brawlers to be in the mix here. I doubt we will see Gene here, but I do see a lot of players saying that they feel like the Gene meta is no longer a thing, that Gene's a bit weaker. But I've got to say, from like an esports perspective, we do see Gene turning the tides way more often than not. But it's just an interesting thing that the pro seem to think that he's not necessarily in the best of place despite those turnarounds. But going into the next game mode, we will definitely see an abundance of brawlers that we didn't see in Siege, that's for sure.
Well, that's what we love about a game like Brawl Stars. It's got dozens of brawlers to choose from. If you can find one little niche opportunity to make use of a brawler that most people have forgotten or haven't been practicing with, that can make all the difference between your standing as a world's finalist. Big hit onto Surge, though, as Max, played by Kada here, is going to get a chance to fire away at that safe. This is going to be a fast-paced hit early on for KGP. We've seen the heist meta really shifting toward these base race style all-in attacks on the enemy safe, and KGP so far not taking that route, but still doing some excellent damage against Qlash.
Yeah, good pressure being applied by KGP. I've got to say, I kind of question Surge here by Q0, to be honest. Surge is a great brawler, but look at the damage that's raining down. I don't feel like, unless you've got those stacks very quickly, and Q0 goes down, that's going to put him back to the default stack.
Yeah, it's a big hit on a Surge when they go down this early, trying to get that super charged up and get those promotions. KGP going to be playing defense now as Adino has kind of snuck past all three of those KGP red brawlers, and Regal going to have to dodge away and heal up from Parzival. Guzero not going to take the opportunity to go for safe damage, instead taking down that Pam healing turret and going to move back onto defense, trying to get that super charged up once again, like you mentioned.
That's exactly it. Guzero's going for like the long game, and that's why I just don't think Surge is a great option here, because Heist can be over in seconds, and Qlash seems going for the slow pressure, again going down, dropping those stacks is going to be putting Qlash LATAM back to square one here, and I think they might need to be thinking a little bit differently going into the next round, what brawlers they take into the matchup.
Qlash playing this like it's a marathon, but KGP are sprinting toward the finish, and with only 36% left to deal on that safe, that could be any brawler that gets past this line of defenses. 36 seconds remains in this match, and Adino might have done it right here. Gets a snappy kill and makes a shot at goal. Can't finish off the safe, but he's made an opening for Kada and Parzival. Healing turrets down, and that's going to give them some great survivability. Some additional shots going in there and threatening heavy. Adino on defense doing his best to take down Kada, but it's taken a long time, and they've only got 17 seconds left to equalize. That's a massive gap to close, Ark.
Yeah, I don't see it with 10 seconds how they can do it, but they're going to try for it regardless, and surely the KGP defensive line is too strong, and Qlash LATAM are going to have to go back to the drawing board when it comes to Heist.
Take a look at Guzero there. He made it all the way to max out his super, but it didn't work for him at all. To no avail on defense that time for the snappy plays by KGP. Take a look at the replay now as you see the damage just being dealt to that safe in so many rapid successive hits. The little bit of counterattack that we saw from Adino there, throwing that pickaxe at the red safe up top, only brought it down 9% total, and at the end, it was not even close. KGP dominant in game number one.
Yeah, and for me, I've got to say again, Surge is a great brawler. There's no doubt about the power of Surge, but I do still feel, as we saw last month, despite the balance changes and that small nerf, you know, he is a brawler which is very circumstantial. You've got to know what game mode that you're playing him on and what map you're playing him on, and whether it's going to be the right choice or not. I definitely feel like Heist is a game mode where you can't go with that long game approach too much. You've got to have a balance there, and yeah, I like the difference. I would actually personally kept B. I think B's a really, really strong brawler here, but definitely Qlash LATAM feeling that the time was right to make some changes, and they've gone for Spike and Bow as a switch up to that previous comp.
Well, I'm happy for KGP that they've kept their comp relatively stable here. Parzival coming back once again with Pam. I think that worked really well at applying a ton of pressure on Qlash at the bottom, but they have switched out Surge for their own, as you noted. Good switch up here and going into Spike, who worked really well in Siege early on. Look at that damage, just knocking Kada apart with one well-placed shot, able to take down brawlers with little difficulty and hiding so well in that bush. It really takes a 2-on-1 for KGP just to contest as GoZero and Guigle take each other out.
Yeah, it's definitely better from Qlash. I think that the comp's helping out, but I gotta say, I do still feel like KGP will have this one. They've got the max for the speed boost and the unpredictability, and Pam with such a wide spread range. He gets the takedown there on Alchemical X. We did see Tribe experimenting with Bo on this particular map. Yesterday it didn't dwell too well for them, so I've got to question, despite the power of that tripwire gadget, which we might well see here, if Alchemical X chooses to pop it, didn't quite time it. He's actually still got it. He's retaining it there. So not much damage, so it's definitely stalling the onslaught from KGP. Much different to the previous game at the very least, to say.
GoZero is getting massive value out here, even when Kada is able to get that super jazzed up and run straight through enemy fire. GoZero almost never misses. That curveball is coming in super handy. Every time he throws that spiky ball, he basically gets a ton of damage, and he's equalized there with a little bit more stacked on the enemy safe. It's neck and neck right now with 39 seconds left. Neither team has really scored a big hit yet, Ark.
Yeah, but great pressure from Qlash LATAM, gotta say. Like, they're getting themselves in great spots here and working the spawn the way they should be, and the pressure is continuously on KGP now. So I think Qlash LATAM with a few shots here, one from Adino, will even be enough just to tip the balance here. 20 seconds left. We're gonna have to see some pressure being applied, some counter pressure from KGP on the opposing table. This one's gonna be all over.
And Dino with a massive super rages through the enemy base, striking the safe and getting back into safe distance as well to fire away with his pickaxe again. KGP left high and dry, no way to close that gap, and that's going to be another equalizer in set number 2. Qlash making the strike back this time.
Got a hand to Qlash. They are adapting and changing and not staying firm and stubborn towards brawler comps that they may have had success with in their practicing in their scrims. So yeah, I think that for me, the best teams are those that are able to show signs of doing just that. Changing things up, switching things up, remaining unpredictable for me is always a good sign, and getting Surge for me, definitely the right call there.
Strong yet supple, firm yet bouncy, able to get back into the action right when we need them most. Great job there to Qlash. Having picked up the first set, it seems like they may have that comeback strength necessary to get the second one as well. It's all going to come down to this third game, the tiebreaker for set number 2. Do you expect to see any big brawler swaps here, or I feel like they've reached homeostasis? I feel like both teams had a pretty good setup. It's just all coming down to tactical play.
Very true, actually. They're much more closely matched. The thing is, the bow does counter the Pam turret, and that'll be interesting to see whether the teams do switch that up. Pam is a great choice here. They are going to swap the bow, and the Pam will remain. So that actually may go against Qlash LATAM here, as it did, and they're actually going to go with Surge. So I'm not sure what to make of this. I mean, it really depends upon retaining those stacks, and I've got to say, Kadu did get off to a pretty good start. He's already on his second stack.
Big defensive setup here from KGP up top. Fearful of any shots from GoZero and Adino coming in. This is a heavy brawler, tanky comp that Qlash had brought in here with Daryl, Rosa. Those are going to punch straight through and deal a ton of damage. They even let Guigle make it past their line of defense and are not going to be blocking him at all. Instead, going for the base race. All 3 Brew Brawlers are on the safe, and they are firing away on all cylinders. Ark, that is going to be it. That red safe has no way of standing up against such mighty force. 13% left on Qlash, but they have done it. Victory for the blue squad as they take a 2-0 set lead.
It just goes to show, right, that when under pressure, having Surge is not the best brawler, because you're more consciously aware to try to regain your stacks and to regain your power at its peak. And sometimes in heist, you've got to take some deaths. You've got to be more aggressive, and that's what we saw there. Qlash LATAM turning it around really nicely, are going to take it then and go 2 sets over KGP.
The dragon roars through the enemy base, and without a single moment left to spare, as you saw in that replay, BB taking out her bat, all the bases loaded, cracks a major grand slam to finish that safe off without a second to spare. You saw those two defenders struggling valiantly to try to take her down, but with exactly the right amount of force applied to enemy brawlers and safe alike, Qlash have taken the 2-0 advantage against KGP and will be storming into Stone Fort next.
Yep, Stone Fort, gem grab game mode, and we've already seen both teams experimenting with Bo and Pam, which are two of the best brawlers for me on this particular map. But Mr. P was banned, so we did see that was the only instance, I believe, that we saw Mr. P yesterday in those regions. So not going to see that on this map. He would have been a great call, or some Tara to be able to reveal using Gadget the opponents that lie in wake in those bushes. So definitely a lot of brawler choices here for me on this particular game mode.
Yeah, Mr. B gets a lot of value in these gym grab maps, often as the gym carrier here. We see an early cancellation out the left lane as Gazero and Guigle take each other out. Probably a little bit of an advantage for KGP as they're going to deny Gazero that opportunity to build up. But no, he's actually popped his super after respawning, and he'll have that level 2 ready to help out Alchemical, who's grabbed all the gems so far, blocking access to Parzival in the middle. Big advantage early here for Qlash, Ark.
Yeah, Qlash doing a pretty good job of collecting bolts, but Guigle trying to put pressure on here. Missed a couple of shots, didn't quite connect with Alchemical, who's going to go pretty low as Kadu comes in. But for me, this is going to come down to which of these two teams can regain their surge stacks and apply that pressure to sort of pick up those kills consistently. And we have seen both sides going down. They're on equal stacks right now. And Qlash LATAM, though, still regaining mid control. Kadu very low here. Is going to have to consider using Gadget to retreat and walk away, but very low on that side of things, and just gonna have to rethink the aggression there a little bit for me.
Alchemical has thrown down the gauntlet so many times, and KGP have not been able to keep pace against a Qlash squad that is picking up gems left and right. Mine set up in the center. This is a super tough nut for them to crack. They're covering on all edges, but seem to be going down one by one. KGP have let those gems spawn just a bit too much in the center, and with one more, Qlash will be able to start the countdown. Kada is going to be able to grab one of them, but there's two more sitting right underneath those trip mines. That could deal a lot of damage if he steps on them. He dashes out, but is that going to be enough?
I think that was a great play from Kadu. I gotta say this is much better from KGP, applying the pressure right when they need it to try to buy time and not pick up gems to the middle. I think it's kind of a smart idea to just leave them there. You can focus on positioning then and just go for a quick grab and get multiple at that process in that same time. But Guzera is amazing. Oh, that's huge. Kadu just popped his next stack, and he's gonna have additional range as a result of that.
This is a terrifying spot for Qlash, so far ahead during almost the entirety of the game. Late game has really switched favor to KGP, up to 10 now, and with that countdown started, it's all up to Qlash to get another gem and stop the show. Parzival won't have any of it. Swimming through the center, he gets those gems on his side. 12 of them stacked up means defeat for Qlash.
Wow, I mean, who would have thought, right? Qlash were in such a great position of control for seemingly most of the match. And then on the 9th gem, couldn't retain it. Started to lose positioning as KGP started to redesign their team and what they were going to be, where they were going to be applying the pressure. And what a great turnaround for them, and they come out on top.
I feel like Qlash were playing brave and brash so many times in key situations throughout the early game. Alchemical tossing his Sprout Super onto the enemy entry point into the gym spawn area, denying them the ability to retreat back through that main channel of travel. And yet KGP weren't fighting for it in the center until the very end. They turned it on so quickly, gassed up, and made it past the finish line before Qlash even knew what hit them. Massive comeback for KGP there, and they're going to need to do it again to keep pace against a Qlash squad that has a 2-0 set score advantage on them.
Fair to say, it wouldn't be the first time that we would have seen Qlash LATAM today with a reverse sweep in these sets. So I've got to say that they do seem to be very much aware in that respect of what to change, how to change it, and how to kind of recollect themselves as a team to do better next time around. They're going to keep the same comp, and KJP are going to swap out to go with Gene. Gene, I think, is a good brawler to have here. The only thing for me is with this particular map, you do depend a lot with a Gene pull with support from your teammates, and with this wide spread, as you see with these lanes being so wide, the question now for me is, will Parzival get the support from his teammates when he makes a pull? It's going to have to come from Kadu, because his other teammate is playing Piper and can only really help on those pulls from a long-range perspective.
That photosynthesis so helpful for Alchemical X. Look at that! Survives with 12 hit points as he retreats back to safety with his 8 gems. A huge lead for Qlash, and it doesn't seem like he is going to crack at all. Alchemical on defense will nullify Kada, and that will give them another opportunity to grab those last 2. Parzival holding court in the middle is really far behind on the gem count, but KGP have done it before. Can they do it again? Grabbing control of the mid is all it takes to get that gem count back up. And with the fighting roaring on, I don't know if it's going to go one way or the other. What do you think, Ark? That's 10!
He's doing a pretty good job. He's on countdown, but I've got to say, Greekcool is doing a great job of pinching this from and redesigning the map. But with 10 seconds, the question is, he goes down. That is going to make a big difference here. Parzival is not going to be able to do much. He's going to get body blocked massively here, and all alone, he's going to go down. Qlash LATAM will be safe, but only just clinging on then in gem grab.
Hey, a victory is a victory. Nice heads-up play by Alchemical, even at the end there, popping that super to defend himself and deny access to the enemy brawlers closing in on all directions. Qlash played that very well once again and actually managed to keep their heads on straight instead of like last time when they kind of fell behind. But kind of an interesting storyline that out of all 3 sets so far, the team that has won game 1 has lost game 2. We are going to another tiebreaker in this series, Ark, and a match point opportunity for Qlash LATAM. They only need 1 more win. This has seemed like a really tight back and forth, but all the points are stacking up on Qlash LATAM's side, and KGP need to get this win here and now to keep their dreams of first place alive.
Yeah, spot on, exactly that. And you know, I think for me, KGP needs to rethink the Piper pick. It is a bit of a gamble, I would say. It's a bit of a tough role to make work. They were making it work, but you know, what if Qlash LATAM go with Rosa? How are they going to handle that kind of situation? So if they keep that, I will be surprised. And if they do, they are going to go for it. So they're going to take the risk. And the question now is that risk going to pay off? Are KGP going to stay in the running here, or are Qlash LATAM going to get 1 more win here to take this matchup?
This is going to be some super long-range brawling from KGP, and they are going to need some epic snipes to take down a brawler like Alchemical and Gazero. With healing and shielding, that is going to be a big ask of them to finish it off. As you see there, Brock knocking down his own bush line is going to be a big deficit for KGP, who have yet to establish themselves in this match. Kata hasn't been able to grab any gems so far, and that's a huge advantage for Kata and for Gazero and Alchemical in the middle here, healing themselves back up and taking these brawlers on 1 by 1. KGP just haven't gotten the strategic edge yet to even be able to knock down a healing turret in the center.
Yeah, and worth noticing as well that Kata's used multiple gadgets now and surely has probably either got 1 left or none at all, and Qlash LATAM are going to be absolutely safe and sound on countdown, and this is looking like a very strong performance as Parzival going down will make a big difference to whether this countdown can be reset. Good Zero says it's all over. He's spinning already.
Clashing and smashing, the Dragons have done it, roaring through with an overwhelming victory. This 3-0 set score tells the whole story, folks. Qlash is dominant in the first match, smashing KGP to bits.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta say, there was a couple of questionable brawler picks for me from KGP. They did pretty well for the most part in the first rounds, but then just couldn't retain it through. And Qlash LATAM, for me, just showed good, clear-cut signs of being able to adapt and switching things up. And that, for me, is what led to that victory.
Take a look at the stat line now. As you see, relatively even damage dealt from both teams. It was neck and neck through most of their tactical play, but Qlash far and ahead, the better squad here in this 3rd set, thanks particularly to excellent plays by their Sprout, holding on to those gems, retreating right when he needed to, and keeping them safe on the back line. What have you got for us, Falcone?
Thank you, Woody. What I've got for you is this very basic information. I'm a simple man, and when I see a Gene do a ridiculous pull early on, they're likely to be my MVP. MVP in that game is going to go to Alchemical. Oh, wow. I mean, what a great way to start the day to start with. That was quite a one-sided match when all was said and done. But yeah, I'm going to MVP Alchemical. There's something so powerful about seeing Gene pulling opponents into your defense zone in Siege and watching them get mowed down by your Ike. As Bo in Heist, he pushed the enemy right back to their safe and used smart minds to keep them there. Later on, we saw a very speedy game as Daryl. And then finally, we got Sprout in Gemgrad, preventing the opponents from going anywhere near the center. And then in the final game, Alchemical switched to Pam, where we had very much the same story. Complete lockdown, complete lockout. Qlash LATAM really living up to their European comrades and taking this one down, showing what they're worth. This is what the group's looking like now. Qlash LATAM, a very nice start. 3-0 set score against KGP. But now, as we move on, it is time for INTZ to show who the real king is of this region. The next match is going to be Qlash LATAM up against INTZ, and I suspect that this is going to be an extremely good match if INTZ can give as good as they get from Qlash LATAM. Let's take a look at the teams. Firstly, Qlash LATAM, once again, Alchemical, Gazira, and Edenho. Edenho claims that as the meta has changed over time, so too has his favorite brawler, which is currently Spike. It seems like Edenho likes to play the best, and I like that. Qlash LATAM agree across the board that the strongest gadget in the game right now is Tripwire, Bo's second gadget. The ability to instantly detonate Bo's mines is very strong. We'll see if they can put that to the test against INTZ. It's going to be Matthias, Consti, Guido, and Marcel. Matthias' favorite brawler is Crow, and he claims that that hasn't changed since the beta. The mechanics of how you play Crow now are identical to how it's always been, and that is just the way Matthias likes it. According to Consti, INTZ really excels when it comes to brawler knowledge and knowledge of the meta. These are two very important factors to be successful, but are INTZ really the best? We are about to find out with our second match of the day.
Thanks very much, Dan. Woody. We just saw Qlash dominate KGP, and now they have to go against INTZ, who I feel are going to be slightly more formidable opponents coming into this series.
Oh, what makes you think that, Tridd? I wonder.
I wonder. Lots of things to ponder, but let's just jump straight into the bans. We got Surge and Poco being removed. Surge was let through last time, and while there was good attempts from KGP to find value, it didn't exactly become a star pick that we expect from Surge.
Yes, of course, INTZ, the top team on the LATAM South leaderboard, already qualified for Worlds, is going to be a very difficult opponent for Qlash to go up against. But Qlash have done it before. They knocked apart Red Canids, ranked higher than them. Can they do it again? A $9,000 first place prize sitting in wait, and it's going to come down between these two teams. Springing into action, Qlash are going to waste no time at all with a super fast comp here. Max and Bull are already on the enemy safe, and Matthias has got a big task ahead of him if he's going to defend against these two mighty brawlers.
Oh, it's a blessing that he was able to get the super up. You'd expect him to be able to finish up Alchemical, but he wasn't able to, Woody. Look at the safe, it's still being burnt. They're going straight bait strays to open this one up. And the super might be enough, but they just get back in time. Qlash LATAM. They want to keep the momentum from their 3-0 series rolling.
Like a nutcracker demolishing a wall, just gomming on that enemy safe and tearing it apart. Only 6% separated them from victory and defeat, but that's all you need. Speed is on their side when you play someone like Max, and Bull can deal so much damage close range with a mega hit pool that just cannot be taken down, even with a brawler like Gale, who's able to push enemies off of the safe, not enough to keep them safe that time around, Tridd.
And it was an important tool to use there. It did buy a lot of time for his team for INTZ to be able to try and answer back with the damage to drop it down to that 6% deficit that you mentioned, Woody. If there was a little bit more opportunity to push them away, build the super faster, maybe get a third one out in that fight, would have had a better chance at slowing it down because that was a race against time, and Gale is so good in close quarters at shutting down and stopping play.
Well, if past is prelude, Qlash are going to do it again. Bull and Max are already on that safe, firing away and taking it down to half hit points. Return fire from our INTZ squad, from Marcel. Gets the damage in, but can't finish it off. Defense from Alchemical going to come back and push them off. And once again, we have another opportunity for these teams to play defense in the mid or go hard in the paint. Guido is planning to play both sides of this match. Goes for the enemy safe, though. Can't keep pace with Qlash and will instead get some additional damage stuck in there, tying it all up, Tridd.
And that's super important that you've seen Guido doing this, Woody. He went back to the safe to help deal with the damage to make sure they can clear people off their safe. What does he do? He pockets a super, runs himself down to the opponent's safe, and converts that damage all the way on it. So close to victory there as well for INTZ. These adaptations have been amazing, Woody. They just need to find 5% more.
Bull shaking his horns on the enemy safe, but missed that last shot for the victory. INTZ have got a little bit of work left to do. Guido's gonna do it. Tosses the last bottle, and that's it. Ties up set number 1 for an epic kill.
And like I said, Woody, back off the that's off the back of them allowing Guido to come back and stop that aggression from the Bull, from the Max in that first play. Matthias needs help, and that's exactly what Guido's doing by allowing to layer that extra damage and get them off the safe, make sure it's not delaying, but actually negating the push. Picks up the super, walks down the lane, chucks that last call on top of the enemy safe to find value in both defense and offense. Great play.
Bull tastes great, but you need a nice drink alongside it if you're going to have a complete meal. Guido serving up destruction as Barley there with some fantastic play in the midfield. A versatile brawler, especially in a heist game mode where you have to be able to play offense and defense at the drop of a hat. Barley is the man with the plan, but they're abandoning him in game number 3. It's going to be a rapid fire succession as all 3 Qlash brawlers jump in once again and are going on defense now this time.
Yeah, they're going to be able to use it. Interesting decision to put their spring platform on top of their safe because now they've just lost out this base race. They've got 3 members of INTZ on the safe. Qlash have only got 2. They should be able to out-damage them.
Go Zero!
Go Zero! Oh, the super! Pushes them back. It's that delay we're talking about. He has to be able to
ages! What an amazing play from Qlash! Go-Zero single-handedly providing the defense that they need and knocking INTZ apart as Adino and Co are able to finish off all remaining hit points on that top safe. Wow. Check that replay again, Tridd.
I'm looking at the replay, Woody. I'm trying to figure out what happened with Marcel. He was incredibly low HP when he was coming into that push. If he was able to negate some of that damage and come into that fight healthier, Go-Zero would have delayed the push, but not actually removed the Daryl, meaning that you'd still have 3 brawlers attacking the safe. And INTZ may have been able to pull out the victory there if we didn't find him going down early like he did to Go-Zero's first super and follow-up damage. So yeah, whatever happened in that first engagement just set INTZ up for failure on the rush, and an amazing play from Go-Zero to capitalize on that.
Yeah, Go-Zero, call him Gale Zero now. He was so effective on defense, and that's what happens when you get a band set up like Surge and Poco. Gale still available means that once he respawns, you're basically going to get no damage on the safe until he's out of commission again, pushing all enemy brawlers off. They were just stacked so perfectly for an attack like that. If I were INTZ, I would want all my brawlers spread out on different angles to deny the ability for a brawler like Gale to play such clutch defense. But Qlash have done it somehow, some way. They got the first win in set number 1 and will be moving on in the leading position. Our game is already underway.
Yeah, keeping it nice and fast. Don't want to lose any of that momentum, Woody. We're rolling out onto Bounty. Mr. P, Tick, and Sprout for the side of Qlash. They got the Jackie. Matthias getting into the face of Qlash right now. Punished correctly right there by Go-Zero and Alchemical.
Bounty's the name of the game. It's all about getting those kills. A little bit of an advantage for Qlash as they pick up a second kill. Gazero surviving a massive Sprout blast in the face, but you can't overwater a plant this strong. He's going to be healed back up thanks to the photosynthesis. The power of the sun is on his side, Tridd.
Oh, and that's a lot of power. You need a Dyson Sphere usually to capitalize on that one, but don't worry, they're still able to pull out and convert that into all that precious energy. Gazero, once again, throwing out damage onto Guidu. Alchemical from the side with his off-angle briefcases. You have to hit them. Matthias has to find a way to get onto this backline of Qlash. He's doing nothing right now, and they're sitting at a deficit. He needs to go aggressive. He's got a gadget that's going to allow him to speed up, but finding the right opportunity to do so is going to be tough when he's just constantly getting poked.
Harnessing the energy of nuclear fusion, a Type 2 civilization on the Kardashev scale, Qlash LATAM in the lead and pushing INTZ back into their own spawn. This is the magnetism of such a huge team picking up a big win in round number 1. They are going to take it all the way that they can, and even with some huge damage coming in from these two throwers, Guidu and Marcel doing their best to keep pace. They still haven't gotten a single kill yet, Tridd.
No, they only got that initial star, Woody. There's 20 seconds remaining. They're going to wait for this wall to erode. They have to find a way to get on to Qlash. Matthias already chunked down low. He will have time to heal for a final rush with 10 seconds remaining. But Marcel cannot go down here, because otherwise it'll be insurmountable. Matthias pushed back by the head first. Woody, they got 5 seconds remaining. They're not going to be able to touch. And it looks like Qlash is going to take the first game.
My goodness, Tridd, I don't know what I'm seeing. My eyes are bulging out of my skull watching Qlash do it again and again. This squad is unstoppable this month, and this INTZ team at the top of the leaderboard seem to just be shrugging it off, but at what cost? They're going to miss out on the $9,000 first place prize for this region, and their pride's on the line too, Tridd. They're a world qualified team. Why are they letting this Qlash squad knock them around like this?
You don't want to be in a situation where you're having these questions raised about the caliber of team being sent to these world finals. You've secured that spot. Your duty for the last remaining monthly finals is to prove that you are coming from a strong reason, to prove that you are the best case to represent your region. And if you're getting slapped around quite dominantly by Qlash LATAM, who aren't actually going to world finals, that doesn't send the right message to the global competition.
All right, well, they're slowing down a bit in game number 2. Neither team really going to make that play for the center star yet. INTZ get that advantage position thanks to Matthias's aggressive spot there, but Guidu barely survives on his way back out. Going to have to pop that gadget to heal up again, but yikes, a kill from Qlash is going to deny access to that Jackie, and they're going to hold on to the lead once again. Mr. P ripping through these brawlers, tossing that briefcase over the wall. You can't stay safe from any spot in this arena. His Roboporter's already starting to trickle through and get some additional damage in there, Tridd.
Alchemical is just keeping Matthias in check, Woody, as you've said. The porters are helping him do that. There's the speed boost. He's going to go for the play to try and find something. The zoning's not quite correct. Matthias manages to juke out the final shot from Gazera. One more should do it, but finally Alchemical on the respawn will avenge himself.
No, you can't catch me. Matthias singing, but not able to keep it up for the entire time. There's still a 1-star advantage for Qlash, but not as big of a lead as they've been able to hold in the past. It's all going to come down to these last few moments as INTZ need to push back into a huge force that is just raining down destruction on them. Adino and Gazero just dumping the damage in on poor Marcel at that right side, and with a super, oh my god, barely survives. Marcel on the retreat now with 30 seconds left, Tridd.
30 seconds, only 1 star in it, so it's not as bad as INTZ had in the previous round. 1 pick on any member from Qlash will give them the definitive lead, provided they don't lose their own life on the way out. 15 seconds remaining. I'm still looking for Matthias to do something here, Woody. He has to charge down and run down Qlash.
No time to waste. Consti missing from their lineup might have cost them in this bounty race. They need to charge in now, but they don't have any hit points left in the tank. Qlash Adino gets another kill on Marcel, and that shuts down INTZ's hopes of victory in set number 2. Qlash are on a massive rampage with a 2-0 set score and needing just 1 more to become the champions for this region.
This is probably the fastest we've been able to crown a region champion at one of these monthly finals, Woody. If Qlash keep on this pace and they provide us with another 2-0 in our third set, I think this is one for the record books of most dominant performance. They're just blistering through this series, unchallenged. When it came down to that last map, it's all about this Jackie pick for me and the lack of value it's finding. Qlash LATAM are playing incredibly well at keeping him at arm's length, not letting Matthias get in close. And when they do, they're using sprout walls and they're using damage which is thrown over terrain to keep him in check and make sure that if he does take him, you're equalizing the balance by just taking him out on the exit, because his health is burnt so much on the entry. He's incredibly fragile by the time he does get that kill. It's just an incredibly easy pickup for Qlash. I really did not like the composition and the playing through Matthias that was brought in from that previous round.
Cheese and rice, my sweet lord. INTZ couldn't even get half as much damage as Qlash dished up in that last bounty set through the stats that you just saw on your screen there. That's a massive gap to have to close, and really incredible, especially when you consider that they don't have to focus on any other objectives. All they got to do is knock enemy brawlers down. INTZ, as you noted there, Tridd, really kind of failing to adapt with their brawler picks to a big hit early on from Qlash. But we're into Brawl Ball now, where it's all about getting that ball past the goal line. A huge lead for INTZ as they're coming out swinging early on, and man, have they really hit their stride in set number 3.
That's kind of a damn if you don't moment for Adinho there. He walked into the last call, but he knew he was going to die from the position he was in anyway. Might as well respawn early and make sure you're here to defend it on the goal line. Another last call from Guido zones everyone in. Gozera using that shield from respawn to be able to come out and try and put up a defensive line. But INTZ are finally locking Qlash into their spawn. Going to pass the ball back into the center field. Alchemical, he's sitting on a magic hand. Could use a hook to try and find someone and get an early lead in this fight. He's going to find Marcel. There's an easy pickup. Matthias moves in. Could go for the super hit. Knocked away by Gozera. The great Guido's gone down as well. Alchemical can move this forward.
What a brilliant strike, and that gives INTZ a big slap on the wrist. Qlash have knocked them apart. Not going to get a chance to score here now, but what a big pickup for them to be able to push the ball back past the midline and destroy a few of these obstacles. Gozero threatening for the shot on goal, but not going to get it this time. INTZ are hurting from that last exchange, but have not been able to wipe out the offense from Qlash. It's going to be equalized back in the midfield again as Marcel's going to get an additional kill stacked on, but not a chance to get that ball past the goal line. It looks like they're waiting for overtime, Tridd.
Potentially waiting for overtime here or for a pick. You saw how they punished Adino for being out of position there, so that was a great move to just make sure you still keep control of this territory. Last call being placed behind him, once again trying to do a great pull onto Adino again, constantly punishing the Jackie, as Marcel will now give them a taste of their own medicine. Alchemical doing the exact same thing to Matthias, a shadow of what we saw in our previous set.
Very risky move, pulling a Jackie right into your own clump of warriors, but those brawlers are able to take him out so quickly with such high, rapid fire damage. Matthias at full health, goes for the goal, forces a knockback from Alchemical. Great use of the gadget there, but he's gonna have to rip apart his own wall on defense to get another brawler down. Matthias back on defense now will be able to deny access to Adinho, but it's overtime, and the walls come tumbling down. Next goal wins it all, Tridd.
Oh, here we go. Qlash, they've got the ball. No super pass available for Gozera. He's going to play clearance. He's playing blocker. Great super from Matthias. Will turn it around. And the ball from Marcel. Make sure INTZ have control. 40 seconds remaining. They're now going to go on the offense.
The grip of God from downtown, and now Matthias is in striking range. Hovers that super and is looking for an opening, but Adino will not give it to him. Gozero gets one more whack, and that's going to be it. Qlash's defenses have held on, and they will get the chance to make the final drill on goal.
Super pass across to Gozera. He's going to move forward. Got the shield over to Alchemical. He's pulled close to the goal. Matthias using the super to lock up the members of Qlash. Adino wants to get control of this. Has to pass it over. Gozera has the shot on goal. Adino passes back.
It's in!
10 seconds remaining. And a 1-2 pass punch from Qlash keeps the ball rolling in their favor. They are one game away from an absolute blowout of the LATAM representatives that are going to the World Final.
Such fancy footwork from Qlash, tossing the ball back and forth. And you gotta say, that takes a shot every single time they do it. They're burning their own ammo, but it doesn't even matter. Landing every single hit and getting that ball past the goal line is what matters most. And they used every single resource available to them. Guido just unable to deny access that close to the goal line. That big Barley needs to come in earlier in the match if they're gonna get value out of a guy like him. I think that INTZ were definitely in a leadership position early on in that set, but with the obstacles coming down in overtime, Qlash definitely took advantage of that in a better way.
We were so focused on the ball at the end there, Woody, we didn't even realize that Alchemical, even though he was pulled behind the goal line of INTZ, he was still alive, causing havoc whilst inside the goal himself on 50 HP. They couldn't play focus to the ball, and actually was one of the reasons why they were able to get it over the line was because they were constantly under threat from two directions and they couldn't finish off Alchemical.
Well, we've got a reset in the midfield now as we have a big change in the brawler setup here. GuzZero is going to be playing Frank for the first time today as INTZ's Marcel brings El Primo into action. Haven't seen a whole lot of him, and that's really not going to play in INTZ's favor at all. Qlash make a big rampaging strike through the space. Big super on the enemy goal line, and that's going all the way in. Adino scores!
You can see that coming a mile away, Woody. As soon as Frank was able to sit on that super, have ball control, move into a position where he could just stun up enemies, lock up the terrain, sets it all up for another one. And there's the super again. He can chain this together, but thankfully taken up by Marcel to shut down the push. Alchemical had a shot on goal with a super pass, but Guido shut him down and will keep hold of that while the respawns come in.
No way to make the goal happen this time. Guido's just going to toss it over into the corner and walk to his own doom. Max is scary, but cannot hold up her own against the big old hammer dropped by Frank. GuzZero takes a big hit, but Alchemical's magical puffs are going to start getting him back up to healthy. He's going to toss the ball into his own goal line area now as he plays defense up on the front side, swinging that hammer with every single inch of the enemy lives, but not able to connect with that last super there, Tridd.
Bit of a swing and a miss there for Frank, but he'll be able to build that super up fast enough. Mafias going to go in with one of his own, knowing that he won't be stunned up. Counter damage has come in. There's the super online for GuzZero. Will go down, happy to sit on top of that one because they know that, well, there's nothing to gain. The ball's in the back right corner. You've got two members up. There's no pressure against the goal right now.
Respawn in the middle. Advantage for Qlash LATAM. Remember, they've already got a goal. They don't have to put another one up on the board if they could just defend against INTZ for 42 more seconds.
Great gadget use. Great gadget use there. The flip GuzZero out of the way, stops the super coming in and locking up multiple members of INTZ. Marcel being speeded out by Guido. This is the best chance INTZ are going to have, and they're trying to get through the unstoppable wall of Frank. They push it through, but he's flipped out of the way. Marcel just hit the wall again. He finds the goal twice in a row. GuzZero has fallen victim to being flipped over the shoulders of Marcel.
Sneaking back behind him, and with an Omaiwa motion, Daru knocks it past those lines of defenses. You are already dead, Qlash. No way to get back in the action with that big of a hit. But as the respawn happens, they've done it! The team of dreams! The squad of gods! The family of fantasy! Qlash have thrashed through both their opponents and take first place in the LATAM South region.
What a beautiful set piece at the end there, all coming together, keeping hold of the super pass on Adino to make the final shot, but Alchemical having the tools in his pocket to just pull any obstacles out of the way with his magic hand. Everything set up by Qlash on that counter-attack. As soon as they caught Mafias in Frank's super, it was already over. They had everything lined up, ready to go. They just needed the one pick, and Mafias was that pick.
Great job to Qlash LATAM. Big deficit on damage dealt and just barely neck and neck on those kills, but so many more goals even when they get scored on in a pretty embarrassing fashion. As soon as that respawn comes in, they had it past the goal line in a matter of seconds later. What a finish for this Qlash LATAM run through the region. We've got one more match coming up to decide the silver spot. Daniel, tee it off for us, man.
I mean, if you blinked, you missed that one. Qlash LATAM just dominated both of the other teams in this region. INTZ, who have qualified for global finals, are not able to win today. Our MVP for that last match is going to be Gazira. And I mean, you heard Woody and Tridd shouting this man's name, and with good reason. We know that Gale is good in Heist. We know that. But Gazira showed that it's about more than just the gadget, launching his teammates to the enemy safe, but also single-handedly defending Qlash's safe. In Bounty, it was all about Sprout. The whole of Qlash played a very defensive long-distance game, and it certainly worked out before finally in Brawl Ball, where we saw a little bit more aggression. First, we saw Gazira as BB, and then the dominating Frank taking down enemy defenses left, right, and center. That was some incredibly well-played Brawl Stars. Here's the group now, though. INTZ and KGP, both having lost to Qlash LATAM, are now going to be battling it out for second place. And you know, there is a lot of prize money on the line here. Every month, they're playing for significant amounts of money. But for KGP, for Guigul, for Kader, for Parzival, up against INTZ, Matthias, Consti, Guido, and Marcel, this is the only remaining match in the group. Who will take second place and who will be leaving with their tail between their legs? Let's check it out with the next game. KGP. Bo is Parzival's favorite brawler. According to Parzival, Bo has only gotten stronger over time with buffs, and especially his new gadget. That's not the first time we've heard that today. The whole of KGP claim their strongest game mode and map is Bounty on Deep Danger. Some of these Bounty games are wild. I'll be really interested to see if that comes up against INTZ, who were a little bit less sure about their favorite map and game type. Consti claimed that their strongest map is Crossroads, a heist map, whereas Matthias and Guido said that Gem Grab is their strongest game type, and Marcel believes that Brawl Ball is where they excel. I guess they're just great at everything? Matthias said that his teammates' greatest strength is the ability to play well with all of the brawlers. This is good. We've seen a lot of variety this month in particular in the monthly finals. So the ability to play as every brawler well is important. Let's see if it pays off in the final match of the group.
Thank you very much, Falcone. What an amazing day for Qlash LATAM. I mean, that was like just one of the quickest matches we've had all year, I think, Tridd.
Yeah, that was the 112 right there. That's the speed run for sure. So let's pull up some bands, keep the show rolling. Maybe INTZ and KGP, off the back of their crushing defeats, can find some semblance or some takeaway here from their last series of the day. Jackie and Surge being taken away respectively from both of these teams. Let's pull up the maps and have a look at what we're going to see for this particular series.
Yeah, going straight in to Snake Prairie for set number 1, the Bounty game mode. Yeah, Jackie being banned. I can't remember the last time we had a Jackie banned. I mean, certainly not since the balance changed to her, and I think she's in a pretty good spot myself. So interesting. I guess there's definitely been a bit of a look towards the upcoming maps. I don't think Jackie would have been one of the brawlers that I would have imagined being seen in Snake Prairie myself. Probably some Bo, I'd imagine some Tara and that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, it is a bit of a weird ban. I think we only saw Jackie banned like in the first month of the first monthly final after the release, maybe. And then since then, it's been kind of like, okay, whatever, you pick Jackie. Like,
well, no surprises here. The early Bo totems in motion, and we are going to see double Sprout, which again is a bit of an odd choice for me in Snake Prairie, to be fair. But I guess placing down the super wall does eventually disintegrate to leave a line which can block off areas of the map. We'll see that in that top left corner in just a moment. And Mr. P makes more sense to me here. So the porters will seek out brawlers on the opposing teams to find their location within the bush.
Intelligence versus counterintelligence, Ark. That's what this is. The porters will go ahead and find the enemies, and Guido's just going to shut down the routes to do that from doing it naturally. Unfortunately, the porters don't care if they're seen. They'll just walk into the brush anyway and give you your tracking. They know Guido's on the left-hand side by himself. They're going to empower the porter to help Guido potentially get some damage on here. And they are chipping away slowly. It forces INTZ back. But it's not substantially going to give them a kill. Marcel misses the gravity. Oh, he might be enough more than he can chew here, Ark. Marcel still able to get away. One more shot should do the trick. And Guigo will find it to give KGP a lead.
Yeah, it was a tight spot. I think just a little bit too aggressive on INTZ's part. They did have the lead. They didn't need to make the play, to be honest. And to be fair, Guigo was using a great use of Gadget to really be an absolute pest, really, to Guido playing Sprout, and he might even pop it again. No, it's going to go down. But, you know, they didn't need to make the play. They didn't need to go on the aggressive, but I guess time was ticking, and they wanted to go for it. But now in a good spot, Marcel popping Gadget. This could be a chance for INTZ now to return this.
This is all on Marcel. He has to land something big here with the gravity. He's got 8 seconds remaining, pushes forward, jukes out the damage, but he's under so much pressure right now. And he's going to be forced away. He's unable to get in range. The gravity does lock up one, but no kills come in, and it just means KGP maintain the lead. Once again, INTZ putting all their stock into an initiator and unable to find value, because this time in the previous series arc, Qlash were able to kite away the initiator. In their case, a lot of the time it was Jackie. This time around, they're kiting away the Tara and just keeping him at arm's length. And INTZ are falling victim to the same problems they had in the previous matchup, albeit with a slightly different lineup, because now Consti's in the mix.
Yeah, it's a real balance between, you know, what you do in terms of your strategy going into Bounty. And I think for me, Snake Prey is a map which is like no other in that respect. We see a very, very different kind of brawler meta lined up for Snake Prey in particular. And yeah, you've really got to be cautious to know when to go on the aggressive, when to not, and also when to really capitalize on those moments. And yeah, that final suck was so important for Marcel to land. It just didn't quite happen. And as a result, here we are with KGP taking the first game of this set.
There's nothing wrong with the Tara on this one, Ark. I quite like the Tara. You're seeing the value it brings right now with the Gadget. I agree, it's just down to like finding those avenues in. Now, they don't know Marcel where he was until those cards started getting thrown. If you can get close to any of KGP, you can definitely find a kill here, even without the super online. Parsable already feeling the hurt. He's calling in Consti for this support. And that's what we want to see from INTZ. Boxing KGP, getting kills. Kader back on the menu as well. What a clap back from INTZ in this second round.
Yeah, really nice display of aggression early on, getting in amongst the spawn, and it was a really, really nice pinch. Actually, it's a bit of a change of style.
Wait, no, Ark, we were so focused on that, we absolutely forgot about the Nani coming in from Guigo. His super combined with Kader's briefcase, they found a kill out of nowhere. They spun Cotton into gold somehow.
Yeah, it was. I think it's slightly off camera actually when it happened. And it was a nanny, a peep nanny going out, and probably I imagine running autofocus then for the additional damage that brings. The more that peep is on the map, the more damage will be inflicted upon a hit, and it seems that it was successful.
Disgusting.
Yeah,
this is so disgusting. They're sitting on Bo's super totem, and without even putting himself in the firing line, they're just perpetually sending out peeps. Guigo hasn't moved in the past 1.5 minutes, Ark.
It's a solid strategy, but one which does come with a lot of risk, because look at this, KGP are behind and they are just banking on those peep hits, and if they don't come, the time is still going to be ticking. 20 seconds left. They need 3 stars. They need to get a kill here. Parsable and Kudu going in, but the super from Marcel connects with Kudu and goes down. An even bigger lead for INTZ.
Game over, game over. INTZ definitely going to walk away with the game win here. In fact, they find a kill onto Marcel. They might get away with this one, but there's not a high enough fire rate on Kader to make that work. INTZ equalized the set. I love that nanny strat, Ark. It didn't work out for them because obviously, like you said, they were behind and there's too much of a deficit to go. But the peep allows you to also scout and gain information that you can guide your team. We saw it at the end where Kader and Parzival were being guided by the peep to show where they had to go. They just didn't have enough time to be able to pull off enough of these kills. I like the strategy under different circumstances. I think you can get great value from it.
Yeah, it's not a bad one. And credit to INTZ, Marcel and Constance for shutting it down as early on as they did. That is the strategy that you've got to use to counter that, is to get really, really aggressive early on. Shut down the super totem as much as you can. We see that a lot in Europe, a lot of awareness to that kind of thing as well, and various other regions. The bow totem only has 3 uses, so getting that taken down early on is a big difference to the outcome. We're going to see some changes to INTZ. Marcel going to go with Pipe this time around, and don't underestimate homemade recipes. Still a really, really strong gadget despite the range nerf recently.
Yeah, well, they found out the super totem. The peep's already in play. Guido low. No one's there for the follow-up. Kader under fire. Marcel and Consti Gonna shut that one down before they can even begin. And now INTZ put themselves in a position of power. Once again, Guigle with this Pinani and the Peeps are gonna be playing from behind. They're boxed in. It doesn't matter what you do here. You're under so much pressure. They're looking to find this super totem again. And Parzival goes down. 5-star lead once again for Marcel.
Absolutely great plays from INTZ. Absolutely, again, just reiterating what I was saying about the strategy, the counter strategy to this idea. And already 2 super totems are down. The lead of 5 stars to nothing. And despite it being a really smart idea to use Peep to scout and to gain stars, ideally if you can connect with one of those Peep hits after a long duration of time for the additional damage, it's still, for me, INTZ are all over this game right now.
And it's so hard because the Peep is going to be out there on the field trying to guide Parzival and Kader, but because of the super being dropped down, and look how many of the bushes have been destroyed already, they're going to know where Kader and Parzival are. The element of surprise is completely gone. And with those bow traps being set down as well, that cuts off the only path they were going to have to sneak in anywhere.
Yeah, I really like the use of the Tara gadget there as well, and INTZ still very much in control, but now it's not going out from Kadu, and Marcel just trying to stay alive. He goes down. There is going to be an exchange of stars now with 10 seconds, so is it going to be enough time for KGP to do something? No,
not now.
Marcel says no to that. 8 stars to 2, and a spin and a pin just to seal the deal.
I didn't even know if Guigle was going to get that last peep off to try and go for the equalizer. But when you lose a member on your final push and you open that deficit up wider, you've got no option. INTZ going to take set number 1. The first set of the day that's not being claimed by Qlash LATAM, I think.
Yeah, you could well be right there, actually. Here we go with the scores. My goodness me, 17 stars to 9. INTZ were all over the game in terms of damage, in terms of kills, and in terms of those all-important stars. Much better from INTZ than we've seen today, and obviously they still very much have their eyes on the prize when it comes to the prize money today.
That's interesting as well. Like 2 kills. I don't know if the stats are correct there. 2 kill difference in favor of INTZ. Yet an 8-star difference. So what? They were averaging 4 stars a kill on that to make that happen. Is that just? I don't want to call attention to it because it might actually be like incorrect stat gathering on that one. But that seems odd if that's correct. That they were averaging 4 stars a kill to make up that extra deficit. I don't know. All my maths is just completely wrong, and I'm just not doing anything correctly here. Or maybe I'm looking at this wrong. It just seemed odd that that was the difference. It's so jarring between kills and stars.
Yeah, they were fine. It's the higher the bounty, the more advantageous the kills to get it in return. So yeah, I mean, in Siege again, like, you know, getting those bolts is going to make a big difference. So we're going to be looking to see how many of those bolts that can be banked. And yeah, in general, like the more of anything that you can gain in any mode, it's going to work out better for you in the long run.
I just heard from production the stats are correct as well. So, like I said, it might just be having a dull moment and not being able to process how that works. But like I was saying, I just thought that was very bizarre.
Let's look at the comments here. We've got a double Sprout and, well, actually Gale for me is the one that stands out, and INTZ constantly making quick use of that. I think they might have even used the jump pad to get into the mix early on. Marcel spinning with Kadu as if to say hello, but the lockdown is there, and I wonder whether behind the scenes INTZ are as friendly as this. I'm sure that they are very much all about the competition. Maybe trying to get inside the heads of KGP as it seems to be working. Parzival is setting up the Gale crying pin as a result.
Siege bot level 3 is going to make the connection. That is a lot of damage for level 3 Siege bot, purely because you were just able to leave the Barley to his own device on the left-hand side. Aggressive counter push coming out. Constanti's there to save the day with a super his own to keep Guido up and maintain some of this mid-control. No bolts being captured by KGP. Marcel and the rest of INTZ want to hold on to this lead they've gained for themselves, but Parzival's going to come in just as fast to try and help out with that spring platform. Finally going to clear him away, but INTZ have taken that early lead.
Yeah, they've got the early lead. They've got lots of early damage in that first push as well. And here's another one coming in, and Marcel is already showing the sad face. You know what that means, Tridd? It's going to be an INTZ moment of aggression, I think, coming in here. And the Sprout Walls have deflected. It might actually be okay for KGP. They might live to fight another day. But the walls, the shots over the wall here from Guido, and Consti goes down. It's going to be enough. INTZ will take the first round.
The residual damage from Barley's bottles, as well as the constant spam from Sprout, were able to close that one out, Ark. And you got to say, credit to KGP on that defense, able to use the Sprout Wall at the last possible moment to maximize the duration on the detour that the Siege bot has to take. Then you throw in Consti's super to push them, not only the Siege bot, but also Marcel back to disengage him to buy more time. They did everything they could on that final push, and I feel as though their defense on the first Siege would have been stronger. They could have potentially tried for the last Siege there, but they just didn't have enough HP to play with.
Yeah, it was a monster first push, 70% damage. And more often than not, we do tend to see that once that amount of damage has been done early on, then it doesn't seem to go any other way. It's a very, very rare occurrence to come back when you're 70% down upon a first push. Whether teams will change these comps as a result of that last game, I'm not sure. One thing for me is Barley right now definitely seems to me to be a brawler, which since that new gadget being implemented, Herbal Tonic, seems to be running riot, and we are going to see actually KGP move away from that, interestingly enough.
Interesting decision by them. Marcel now moving on to the BB as well. Coming around from the side. Guigle stunned up. Now he's going to be locked into a corner. Doesn't have an opportunity to pop his super. Bolt lead in favor of KGP, and they will get the level 2 Siege bot. Very weak one to start things off, but they've already not got the full strength push to reinforce this.
Yep, KGP are going to have to be a little bit composed here and stay alive, because that makes such a big difference, not only to this push coming in directly, but indirectly with regards to control the next round. They're going to take down the Guido, and again, of Consti, that's a great moment there for KGP to capitalize, and being very smart by not all going in as a result of those kills, just holding firm and staying in position, so important to banking these bolts for the next round.
Oh, absolutely. Consti can't find the path he wanted to because he's been blocked off by Kadu. We'll move around to the side. Got a super online, locks up Guigle once again for Marcel to get the clearance, but Guigle turns it around! He shouldn't have got away with that one, Ark, and he banks that bolt to push KGP's lead even further ahead. Level 6 gonna start heading towards the Ike.
Great place from Guigle, and also banking the bolt that was actually being tried to have been banked by Consti, who tried to use I think a little jump pad to get out of the mix there and at least come away with a bolt. But as a result, this is great pressure being applied here from KGP as they start to maybe get some confidence here and bring things back. And we're not seeing any sad pin emotes coming this time from Marcel. I think definitely a much more serious tone in the INTZ camp right now.
Oh, Consti just turbo-inting right there into Kadu and Parzival. Oh, nothing he could do about that one. Guigle's got this under control. Ark, I'm calling it. This is all over. KGP have got this round. I don't see any way INTZ get the bolts they need to stay alive in this one.
No, I think you could be right. And just as funny, as soon as I said that, Marcel puts out the crying face. And I think it's actually on the other flip side of things this time round. More of a genuine, I am sad that we've lost this round.
Yeah, they're just going to stop now. You saw Marcel just make a run at the Ike just for the hell of it, because they're not going to get anything of value. Last Siege, it's all over. KGP going to equalize the set.
Great to see a bit of fight and a bit of feist left in KGP, as I did feel like they kind of maybe had already accepted defeat in that last set, so that last round. So great to see them starting to mix things up a bit, and I've got to say, surprised to have seen them do so without the Barley pick. So yeah, I'm keen to see what they'll do in the next round as well.
Final round of Siege coming up. We don't have, well, we can have draws in Siege. It's just not likely that it happens. And probably going to have the decider of this set coming up here. Remember, if INTZ win this one, Ark, they will go to match point, which will be good because this is just a battle for second place. Both these teams had identical match differences after their series with Qlash, so it's a completely neutral fight for second place right now.
Yeah, and a lot of money is going to separate that result. And, you know, for me, I've got to say, I'm not sure what team I would hand it to right now. We've seen signs on both teams of adapting, which is always a good thing. And Siege can be one of those game modes where you just never really necessarily know which way round it can go. We are going to see BB from Marcel already passable, locking on quick with Kadu. I'm not sure already for me whether KGP have got the stop that they need here. Marcel using home run, that star power to great effect to whiz around the map and bank quick bolts for INTZ.
They've got mid-control right now. They've removed the Gale on the side of INTZ. They put Guido back onto the Barley, which means they're not going to have the reinforcements that they usually had for the BB to lock up these kills, but they will have that additional safe damage coming in from the throwers. Guido going to be picked off as the bot comes in. He's got sitting on that super as well. This is going to be a chunky push from INTZ.
Yeah, damage raining down and more over the wall from the Sprout there as well. Almost 50% on one push is a big result for INTZ, and definitely looks like Marcel knows that.
Absolutely, Parsable going to push him away. Great lock up there onto Guido, point blank range. He's going to get away with this one, manages to take one with him as well. For the mid control, Marcel, like you said, using that home run star power to be able to run around fast, get control of these bolts and bank them. He's the only thing giving INTZ a lead right now. He is solo in the middle of the map arc without a team, and 1v3, he generated more bolts than they could possibly imagine. Level 6 running at the Ike.
Yeah, I've got to say, it's a really smart brawler choice and also star power choice, because BB would not be nearly as effective if running the other star power of batting stance for the shield. So gotta hand to Marcel, banking serious bolts, and look at the damage raining down as well. Is it all over now?
Oh, no, they got it! INTZ close out the set, and they get themselves to match points as they get a 2-0 lead.
My goodness me. This is more like the INTZ that we're used to seeing. The aggression and the control and the confidence, and definitely wasn't the start that we were used to seeing, but now maybe starting to get within their stride.
Absolutely, Ark, absolutely. Great place there by INTZ. Turns out the barley was the secret ingredient they were missing all along. As soon as they got that back into the mix, far more dominant. But it was really impressive there by Marcel on the BB to be able to work as a solo operator, abuse the movement speed that they had over their opponents to be able to lock down all these bolts and maintain a consistent lead in this final game.
Not that any bolts in it, actually. Only 4 that separated the two teams, but definitely a lot of early pushes that made the differences to me. I think in that first round, that's 70%, and in that final round, 50% being those first pushes. Hot Potatoes is going to be our next map, however. The game mode of Heist is going to definitely mix things up in terms of the brawler comps and choices, and you know, getting that balance between aggression and defense on Heist, such an importance moving into Hot Potato.
I imagine we're going to see probably a few... imagine Gale's going to get paid here. We know how much people love to play Gale with the springboard to get onto the safe much faster, but you don't have that blocking wall that we typically find on some maps, which really add value to it. So it might be able to deviate away from that one. Instead, going to see Kadu go over to the Rico. A personal favorite of yours, Ark.
Yeah, I got to say, I do. And I was going to mention Rico. I wasn't sure whether we would see it from the South LATAM region, as it is normally a bit of a specialty from the Qlash players of Europe, but definitely for me a great choice on Hot Potato, and already you can see it going to great effect just to shut down that middle lane, and Marcel is really going to struggle here depending upon what star power. I think he is running additional range as well, so that might come into effect here, but Kadu shuts it down early on and says no, Rico is superior.
Well, you know, that's a Rico for you. Lots of walls to bounce it off. The damage comes in, and that range that Kadu is able to abuse with his super. Marcel wins out a duel, thankfully. He's got one of his own. He's going to bring some range to the party. He needs to find a way to get away from this one, though. He's thinking about using his super to try and take out the Barley. Will lose his life for it. And INTZ have not been able to touch the KGB safe. And the KGP have just consistently been able to whittle away at theirs.
Yeah, Parsible's being a pest on this right-hand side by just getting continuous damage. Greedy shuts it down, but almost goes down himself, surviving on just 112 HP. And it looks like, for me, KGP finding themselves a little bit more comfortably so when it comes to Heist.
They've got such an overwhelming lead right now. It'd be a serious misplay from KGP to be able to pull this one, actually lose this one, sorry, because they're just still whittling away at the save. Parzival just needs one more bottle, and that'll do the trick. KGP come out with the victory. So at their series point, decide to have a second win and come back into this one.
Yeah, I mean, there's no time like the present to turn this one around. I mean, I gotta say, I did feel like for me, the weak link may have been the Colt pick there from Marcel. Colt, as we know, is a great brawler on Heist, and it's one of those which does come with a lot of risk, though, as well. You've really got to land those shots, and then Colt can come into his own. I do think that the star power of Magnum Special with that additional range, as opposed to the speed, is definitely the better of the two. But I think you might want to go with Rico to counter that mid lane, or something like that, or even like a Brock could really mix things up to get rid of some terrain and take away some of the ricochet shots away from KGP at the moment. So it's definitely, for me, them that are the stronger of the two teams right now.
Okie dokie. Carl coming into the mix as well with the Barley and the Rico. No adaptation for the side of INTZ. They're still sticking with the Colt Max and Spike combo.
I mean, Colt can work, but you gotta break some terrain. At the moment, Kadu is all over that and using that to his advantage. The more they can break up the walls, and I mean, the Colt is really the only brawler which can do that with any kind of like terrain damage from the super. Like, it's gonna allow Kadu just to be able to use that to his advantage. So there you go. Marcel's starting to break it up now. That's a good thing for INTZ.
It's gonna make it a lot easier to take these duels instead. Guido will get the kill. Now he can open up onto the safe, but Guigo's back. Gonna keep them back as well. Able to get damage on the safe. So INTZ have a lead for the first time in this map type. And Marcel looking to extend that. Now he can break more of this cover. Will go down as he trades out with Kadu.
Probably a good respawn for him, actually. He'll come back and be able to be in a position to break the walls that he actually wants on that left-hand side there. So he probably actually wanted to come back.
Makes him on the right.
He went for the right, full right. Obviously cautious of Parzival there and allowing Constantine to win lane. I think this is a much better display of what the comp should have been in the first round, and definitely for me, a much better performance from INTZ, but they've got to maintain it. Shutting down Guico there is important as well, and Parzival low, and Kadu there, and Marcel just breaking again more walls. This is much better from INTZ in the long run here.
Yeah, if Marcel can actually break this final bit of cover on the left, the options from KGP have been entirely shut down. This will be huge for INTZ if he can get that next super on the line.
Yeah, the strategy was always there, but it's going to be implemented, and it is a one that takes time. And look at the damage raining down there. So much damage. INTZ dropping the ball for just a split second, and look at the results of that one.
KGP, they knew they had to act. They're about to run out win condition. Now INTZ have to go for a pure damage rush. They've got the raise, they've got line of sight, but they have not got the damage or the time. They've been cleared up by KGP. 30 seconds remaining, but they dropped that deficit down to 16%.
They're staying alive, however. Kadu with a shutdown there on Marcel. So important. It's just Guido and Consti fighting that last remaining damage, and I don't know whether they're going to be able to get about all three of them there for the push. I think KGP might have those of a final suit from the range from the Rico. Damage going down.
Oh, it's all over. KGP, they're going to take away this set arc. There's no way. Surely they can't. Guido's going to go for it, but then Marcel with the super, he does it! 1% was all he needed. Drops it down right at the last second. INTZ force us to match point whilst keeping us on Heist.
Marcel, what an amazing time to bring the final shots to the safe. It was such a close finish there. It could have gone either way, but my goodness me, the Colt pick came in clutch just when it mattered most.
They figured out a way to make their composition work. That was the game plan, like you said, Ark, break away the territory, make it harder for KGP's more vulnerable damage dealers to push up and attack the safe. They nearly lost it, though. Like you said, they let their foot off the gas and they lost so much of their safe HP at one go. We're now entering into that final game and more adaptation from INTZ. This time they're bringing the Gale and they're putting the ball front and center on that save.
Now, this is the strategy that I would expect to have seen more. The Colt strategy does work, but boy, is it risky, and it's a long game approach. Going now with the Gale jump pad and the tankiness of ball to go down and just continue that pressure, I gotta say, for me, this is a much better idea in terms of strategy from INTZ.
They've been doing a good job of shutting the ball down, though. They were getting some damage, but not enough to cause any problems. Marcel just running out of spawn, jumping on the jump pad to get onto that safe. Get some clearance, will get a bit of damage off, but he's not going to be able to stay alive much longer against the Rico when he's outputting it all. But that damage being spent back on the defense is not being spent on the INTZ safe. So they're starting to pull ahead with this one.
Exactly that. At the moment, INTZ can just keep jumping in and just keeping that pressure on defense and keeping KGP back and forced as a result to continue taking down INTZ. And if they just keep this same strategy going and don't drop the ball here, Marcel jumping in a bit.
Oh, this is big. They want it. That's going to be it. There's no way, Ark. There's no way they win this race now. INTZ walk out with the 3-0 slammer jammer and finish in second place for the region.
INTZ, for me, did a fantastic job. They learned from their mistakes throughout this battle between KGP, for me, and just kept mixing things up, and were not afraid, even after that last round, winning it in such a spectacular fashion as they did. I think that was the way to finalize things in high. Swapping out to Gale and Ball was really smart for me.
Let's take a look at some of the stats. This one was a lot closer. KGP overall dealing more safe damage. I think that's ultimately down to when they lost, they were keeping it closer than INTZ were able to do so. But yeah, just a few kills out if you're looking at the scoreline, but it doesn't change the fact that INTZ won out the heist and means that they will take the match altogether. Let's throw it over to Dan to close out the region.
And what a region it has been to close out. These were some blisteringly fast Brawl Stars matches. Our MVP for this final match of the group is going to be going to Consti, though. And again, there's so much to break through, so little time to do it. Locking down the map on Snake Prairie is so important, and Bo is someone that's particularly good at doing that with the stealth mines. INTZ had a bit of a rocky start, but were able to smooth things out come game 2. A little bit later, Conti played Gale in Siege, jumping straight into the action, and later switched to Sprout, keeping amazing control over the center, allowing the team to get those bolts and dealing a lot of damage himself to the enemy Ike. Finally, moving on to Heist, it was Sakura's Spike before moving on to Gale and going with the more traditional jump pad strategy. And it certainly worked with a combination of the Gale and the Bull. Anyways, that's the group. This is how it shakes out. Qlash are going to be your winners of LATAM South, followed by INTZ and then KGP, again, formerly Red Canids, are coming in last today. A little reminder that INTZ already qualified, but still, today's prize pool is the important thing. And $9,000 going Qlash LATAM's way. They may not be representing at Global Finals, but they are taking home the dough today, and that must feel good. But now, let's talk about Global Finals, shall we? Here's the leaderboard. INTZ are the qualifying team. There is nobody that can even come close to catching up with them, with Red Canids, KGP coming in second place, and Qlash LATAM sitting in a close third. But again, this is all locked up. We will be seeing INTZ at the Global Finals later this year. And that just about wraps up that. We're now moving on to North America and LATAM North. We've got Omen Elite, IX Gaming, and Tempo Storm all fighting. Some of these teams are fighting still for their right to qualify for the Global Finals. Here's the leaderboard. Tempo Storm sitting on top, but not by much. Omen Elite have got a thing or two to say about that. And there you go. That's the situation. This is how much the teams can earn. There's only 10 points in it, and both teams are competing in September and October. Both teams can earn up to 30 points each time. This really could go either way. Every single match today is going to count. Take a look at the first one. Our first match of the group is going to be Omen Elite versus IX Gaming. We've got Corey, Supersai, Tyrant Star, and Zulan up against Zal, Crying Man, second best, and Shepo. And oh boy, every single match counts. Let's get straight into this. First up, we've got Omen Elite. Zilan's favorite brawler has changed several times over the years. First it was Rico, then Jean, then BB. But right now, he's settled on Piper. That's a lot of changes, but it seems as though it's a very similar style of gameplay throughout. Supersize says his teammates' biggest strengths are strategizing, communicating, decision-making, and their attitude and mindset. That's a lot of strengths. Let's see them put that to the test up against IX Gaming. Depo's favorite brawler is Colt. He believes Colt has changed over time. There's a lot more variety now in how you can play him, especially with the gadget. Depo also told us something really interesting when we asked him how their team strategy has evolved over time. He actually admitted that the team have gotten a little bit worse as they didn't play with each other for many months. Hopefully, they will be able to pick that back up again in our first match of the group.
Yeah, man, I just really can't believe what they got coming up in this Brawl Talk tomorrow. It's going to be insane. If anyone misses the countdown and forgets to subscribe to it, they're really been missing out. Oh, we're live. Okay, yeah. Hey, Ark, what's going on, dude? Really looking forward to this next match. The North American region still has yet to have a qualified team. Who's it going to be?
Well, I mean, the bans are in, Woody. Omen Elite are banning Surge and IX Gaming are banning Gale. So whatever the outcome of that, I think that will have a big change to mix things up. Keen to see what the next maps are going to be. Hard Rock Mine, a fan favorite up then for set 1. Gem grab on the way.
I'm ready. Let's hop right into it. We already know that there's a very close race right now, of course, between Tempo Storm and Omen Elite. But if the LATAM South region is any predictor, it's not just the teams that are vying for Worlds qualification that can win a region and take home that $9,000 prize. IX Gaming have got a huge name for themselves as well. And Crying Man, the sneaky guy that he is, will be moving forward in the right side as Rosa to try to get the edge in this gym grab map.
Exactly that. Omen Elite and Temperstorm is where our eyes are on, and IX Gaming are definitely up there with a team that can be a real pest and stopping them in their battle to qualify at Worlds. And I really got to say, IX Crying Man playing this right-hand side lane, Rosa, is definitely a thorn in Omen Elite's side right now.
Yeah, if IX Gaming wins either of their matches today, they basically destroy the hopes at Worlds qualifications for the team that they knock apart. Now, Omen Elite and Tempestone have both qualified for the finals next month, but with a little bit of a slim advantage for Tempo Storm, holding 10 more points. That really puts the pressure up to Omen Elite right here and now to get a smashing success early on against IX Gaming and keep that train chugging along.
Absolutely that in a nutshell. Great pull from Zulan. The hill from Zar goes out straight onto Crying Man, keeping him alive. And I've got to say, this is a great dominating comp here from IX Gaming. And look at Omen Elite getting into the corner here. And I feel this could be a really bad spot with 9 gems in the pocket. IX are not even worried about the mid. As Zulan now goes down. Second goes down. Tyra with the pickup. Omen Elite just about surviving. But whoo, they've got to be worried now in this countdown.
Pirate Star super fast and not going to give away a single inch of land to his opponents. Crying doing his best to charge in there, but you can't catch a guy so fast on his toes. Well done to Tyrant Star, the gem carrier there for Omen Elite, taking game number 1 for his squad and shutting down IX hopes of a strong start in this set.
My goodness me, that I don't even know. I have to look back at the replay to see how it went down, really. Omen Elite, it's very rare, Woody. Very rare that we see a spawn trap like that going out, and it looked so dominating with Rosa and Poco and Carl being the comp to do it. I'm amazed that Omen Elite got out of that one alive. I've got to be honest.
Well, by the skin of their teeth, but if they're holding all the gems, that's all that matters in the end. IX Gaming with a chance to make the comeback happen, as we've seen so many times in that LATAM region. Winning the first game is not decisive by any means, and the strength you get from a big comeback can definitely carry you on to the win. Crying Man gonna do a massive push into that right side lane, trying to push back Corey and Zulan, but is it gonna work? Not at all. Corey swinging through with a pickaxe of doom has chopped up the competition and sent second best packing up there on the top left. Tyrant Star going to push into him as well. And Zulan, as the gem carrier now, will do 5 for his team, putting them all in his pocket and keeping him safe on the bottom row.
Yeah, a great start for Omen Elite, and Corey keeping an eye on Crying Man and just being aware of where he lies is going to be so important. As soon as Crying Man gets in his right-hand side pocket and hides himself in the bush, it's going to spell trouble for Omen Elite, so they've got to be aware of that. And Corey even not afraid to use it on a defensive measure as well.
Whoa.
So a great pull from Zulan right at the very end of that reach from the magic hand.
Very aggressive pull. Rarely do you want to try to bring a Rosa back to your own defensive line, but with so much damage stacked in to help him out, and especially with Corey there to give him a second helping, he was able to knock down that Rosa and buy themselves a little bit more time. They've got a 7-3 edge on that gym count. That's a really big advantage, and it looks like they're going to push it even further up to 9 now and needing just one more for the countdown.
Oh, what a timing!
pull.
Zulan spotted that moment and seized the opportunity, because honestly, Crying Man would have been a thorn there in Omen Elite's side yet again. But I've got to say, I'm really impressed with Omen Elite as shutting down this really dominating comp here, Woody.
Carpe diem, seize the day and seize your opponents by the throat. The grips and the grabs from Zulan carrying his Omen Elite squad over the line for victory in set number 1.
I'm so impressed, Woody. Like, honestly, that comp in Hard Rock Mine is such a troublesome one to deal with. The second that you lose control and you allow a Rosa in that pocket, it can just be all over there and then distracting you from doing what you need to get done. And Omen Elite just absolutely abolished it there. Amazing work.
Abolished and demolished. IX Gaming are going to be forced back in set number 2 to try to find an edge on Omen Elite. But having had less than half the damage dealt by their opponents, that's a massive chasm to try to close here. They really were focused heavily on trying to get the upper hand by sneaking past their opponent's line of defenses and getting a walloping blow through the back end. But the defenses held up for Omen Elite. Their back door closed shut and letting no one through.
Well, going into some heist then, Standing Gems to see how this changed things. Already some good shots from Cryman straight off the bat. Zar following up with some hits as well. And Omen Elite definitely seems for me to be needing to defend this a little bit more there. They got some damage, 25% is continuing down as Tyrant Star gets hits, but it's Cryman who's still alive and now second best joining the mix as well. I think this is all over already to Woody, maybe.
Glorious strike for IX Gaming as they take Omen Elite down into the single digits. Second best not able to close it out just that quickly, but already IX Gaming have seemingly come over the top of an Omen Elite squad that just have not been able to defend against so much damage. But it's going to be a base race after all. Lots of damage stacking out of both sides. Barely done it. IX Gaming with 2% left on their safe. The Deuce of Death deals damage to the enemies right when they needed it most. Not a second to spare. Almost a comeback for Omen Elite in that first game there.
A really good moment that they see. I'd like to see the other side of the field to see if there was any maybe hesitation on Omen Elite's part there, just to see. But yeah, it was a very, very close finish, far closer than I think we actually expected it to be. But that moment, I think, when we saw IX Gaming make the push and Omen Elite going, I think there may have been a moment there where they thought, is this the right play? Because that would be normal to assume that, you know, in a game like Heist, knowing whether it's the right time to commit to the end of the game is a really tough thing to call.
With a high damage but low hit speed attack like what Tyrant Star has brought with BB, it might have actually just come down to the timing of his last whack on that safe. Great job there to Omen Elite, doing their best to keep pace against IX Gaming, but not able to get through. Actually, I was talking about Crying Man, not Tyrant Star. But nonetheless, it's another base race here in game number 2 as both safes down to the 20s, the 30s, the teens now for this blue safe. And Crying Man will not let up the pressure. Whack it away and take it all the way home. A victory for IX Gaming as they clutch set number 2 and tie up this match.
My goodness me, I've got to say, it's such a different display of gameplay that we saw there in Heist compared to Gem Grab, and Omen Elite, I got a feeling do a lot better and feel a lot more confident in game modes of control. Heist definitely didn't seem to be one of theirs today. A bit of a coin toss there. IX Gaming coming out on top, and with only 6 kills, it's 8. It's quite a low level of score actually for Heist. All about the base race there, and I gotta say, I'm not sure that was the right move for Omen Elite.
Yeah, coin flip kind of went in IX Gaming's favor there. They had the better comp and were more prepared to deal that heavy damage in a very fast fashion, but that's not going to work in triple dribble. It's a lot more slow-paced control and deliberative approach that gets the win in this brawl ball setup, especially with so many obstacles blocking an easy path toward the goal. It's really going to be all about that midfield control and trying to wipe out your opponents, maybe even closer into the late game if you're going to get that overtime win as the walls come crumbling down.
I think a chance now for Omen Elite to recollect themselves. I mean, this map in particular opens up a lot of doors to brawls, which I know they like to play. Mr. P is the one that I've got in my mind. Very, very dominant on this particular map with those close caverns, and Carl as well, as we saw in Gem Grab. Corey feels very much at home with that particular brawler, so a chance then for them to bring it back. But IX are definitely starting to show signs of their aggression, and Omen Elite need to be very cautious of that, because Omen Elite are IX Gaming are a very accomplished team.
Flipping pies past the midline there. King Zulan will be pushing IX Gaming back up a little bit, but not far enough. Corey Super is going to close out Czar's opening on that right lane, but he's going to continue firing away with that pickaxe. It's either team's game right now, and neither one of them are really taking much of an advantage. Crying Man having to walk through some of that poison as King Zulan fires off a super now, and that's going to give Omen Elite the opening they were looking for here. Tyrant started taking a big whack over here from second best on the left side, though, and that's going to be another reset as Corey goes down, and it's an opportunity for either team to grab the ball. Who's going to get it first, Stark?
But they might just play around the ball. I think it would be the wise move to make as the teammates are spawning in, and it's kind of a difficult one to really make a push on. But Seconds to make the first move here, popping the super to give the speed boost to Crying. He passes to Czar. Czar now with an opportunity. He can just seize the moment and pass to Corey. Not going to make it through, and now it's just left to Tyrant and Kings.
Oh my God! The pass in on that center by Czar was impeccable. Second best realized he had the ball and drilled it in past the goal line with no resistance. Even with an opposing brawler sitting right on top of him, the timing by Czar to get that ball to his partner was so amazing. IX Gaming well deserved with the 1-0 lead.
Yeah, an early lead. 1 minute on the clock, though, and a bit of an opportunity here. The pass to Corey might hit. Crying Man is weak here. This is a great little opportunity if Omen Elite can capitalize for it. Czar speeding in as a result of that max super and going in aggressively on Corey for the takedown. Czar is on fire right now, and surely a chance on goal here, Woody.
Where's the defense from Omen Elite? Czar gets an easy goal for the 2-0 win, and IX Gaming behind after that first set are now in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I've got to say I was surprised to not see the retreat from Omen Elite. I think they were banking on the idea that their teammate would spawn in. I believe it was Corey as quickly as it would be enough to defend that moment. But when you're 1 goal down, you've really got to rethink just the importance of what it might mean if that is not the case. And a bit of miscalculation can be proved very costly in the long run here.
All right, are they going to go back and switch out their brawlers, or were they happy with what they brought? I think that Carl was definitely the best pick of the entire match that time. IX Gaming having a really tanky brawler who can dish out a massive amount of damage, especially because he's able to balance that pickaxe off the walls, knocking enemies apart and getting the goal both times, essentially. I mean, I know he didn't get it the first time, but tossing it right next to one of his partners who was sitting on the goal line, and then just sneaking past enemy defenses. That was an expert play as Carl.
Yeah, I think for me as well, IX seem to like the Max pick, and it does seem to be the thing. Actually, Zerlin's going to go with Max this time round, and then actually IX are not going to play Max. And I think that was their strength for me in the previous rounds. We saw it in Heist, and we saw it before there as Corey throws out a gadget there of healing Toxin there. Let's see what happens here. Corey's really low, and Tyrant getting hits as well with great pressure early on from IX Gaming here.
Omen Elite sent packing in on the way home. They're back in their own spawn zone now and can't seem to break out. All 3 brawlers from IX Gaming there to get the goal past the line. And there it is, bouncing off the post, and Jar gets another one for his team.
I gotta say, I feel like Zulan could have dashed that and actually managed to save that ball off the line maybe, but nonetheless, it's continued pressure from IX's Zargis behind Omen, and that's gonna be taken care of before Omen can even think about getting this ball here, and they've got to start to recollect. They do not want to lose this game, and being 1 goal down is a really disastrous place for them to find themselves as Corey uses the final gadget of that healing tonic there, and that's gonna be noted because without those heals, Omen Elite are gonna be under pressure to stay alive and gain their positioning on the map here if they're going to be able to pressure IX in return.
The positioning by second best on the left side is so amazing, able to pop through enemies all over the field and barely taking any damage himself. Finally opens up to Zulan there, but still isn't going to go down, popping away at Corey and Zulan. Any chance he gets at a shot, he takes it, and man, he is deadly effective with those B blasts. Another one right in Zulan's face.
Yeah, Zar going in, doesn't get the actual takedown there. Zar comes in to protect Corey, and this could be a great chance that Omen Elite have got to capitalize. They've yet to score anything at all yet, so they really need to make this moment count with 40 seconds left. Zulan needs to win lane to second, not an easy one to do because B can pack a sting. Tyron with shots on Zar, forcing him back, and Zulan now needs to really get a speed in with Corey if they're going to make this moment. 30 seconds left, There's not much time.
Epic totem drop by second keeps himself up. Even though he takes a big swing from Tyrant Star, he has slowed down Omen Elite, and they are struggling to get that last goal in here. Tyrant Star reclaims it, goes in for the goal. Only second on defense. Can he get past and get it in? 10 seconds left, Ark.
There's not much time. Tyrant is being very cautious and rightly so, but the time is ticking in. It's going to be a goal with 3 seconds left. Omen Elite will keep the dream alive, and now it's going to come down to overtime, Woody.
What a finish! We're going into overtime and it's all tied up. Omen Elite struggling to keep their supremacy from set number 1 out of question as IX Gaming seem to be the team to beat right now. King Zulan taking a punishing hit here now as second up top and looking strong will support his backline with another sniper shot. Takes down King Zulan, and that's all Jar needs to score. IX Gaming takes set number 3.
It was a brief moment there when Omen Elite had an opportunity, but they just were not able to recollect themselves. Second playing B there for me is always the culprit when it comes to overtime. Such a prominent brawler when it comes to Brawl overtime moments, and Omen Elite now are under immense pressure. And let's not forget that they need to have a fantastic week this week around. They are tied in the points when it comes to the leaderboards with Temperstorm, who are up later today. Both teams have qualified for all remaining monthly finals, so now Omen have got to be feeling the heat.
Yeah, their feet are not only in the fire, they're deep in the furnace now. They have got one more set that separates them from a crushing defeat that might ruin their World's Finals hopes. They've been struggling all year long, Ark. This is not just another game. This is their lives on the line here and now. A $1.5 million prize pool for this year's event, and the bulk of it gets handed out at the World Finals, along with the grand glory of being a championship team. Can Omen Elite stand up to an IX Gaming squad that have come back with 2 sets in a row?
Corey going in. I like the double palm pick and the max pick as well, but it does seem, again, like IX are the stronger of the max battles on those side lanes as Zar and Crying have got full control here. The tie was there for the first round, but I gotta say that IX seem to be showing no sign of slowing down in Siege thus far, Woody.
Oh my gosh, Jar is just going to continue pounding away at the Omen Elite backside. King Zulan forces his way through, but in the 2-on-1 is going to be sent packing once again. IX Gaming tied up with Omen Elite on the bolt count for the first round. It's going to get a huge bot on the second one. This might be a push kill here from IX Gaming. Already past a dozen bolts, 14 bolts, 15 bolts. They won't stop.
It's going to be an absolutely monster push, Woody. 16 bolts. There is 1 round remaining after this if they can defend it. And I've got to say, that bot looks mean and nasty, and it is coming down fast on the Omen Elite Ike, Woody.
A throbbing purple thrust right onto their Ike, but no support from the IX Gaming players. They're going to hold on to the midfield and try to outpace Omen Elite on the last bolt race. Not going to be an easy task, especially with Omen Elite holding 5 already, but midfield control is all IX Gaming needs, and it's coming down to this fight between Jar and Tyrant Star on the right side. Jar holding on for dear life. Can he stay alive long enough?
Look at this from Omen Elite. They might be able to get a push here. I've got to hand it to them. That was an amazing defense. Not an easy feat. And if they can just get a couple more bolts, a level 10, it's going to be a 9, but they'll take it. And they've got to get 24% damage or somewhere around that region. And look at this. IX Gaming are flustered. They are trying their best to slow this down, but it is coming in quick and fast, Woody.
That siege bot's down. It's all left to the brawlers to get the damage in there. Down to 90s, 80s, 5 seconds remaining. A super from Corey will do it. Omen Elite with the turnaround kill. Didn't even get a level 10 siege bot, but with a blast from the past, throwing everything on the line, they grab victory in game number 1.
Oh! I think this might go all the way if Omen Elite can keep up that kind of level of fight, because I'm not being funny, that looked like it was all over and done at a very early stage. They were able to recollect, come back strong, and come back to win that under, I think everyone's, I didn't see it coming, Woody.
Disco lives for Corey as Carl swinging through every single brawler and sashaying his way on down to the Ike, just wiping the floor with that pickaxe and ripping that Ike apart. Great job to Corey especially. I think Omen Elite really have got their skills back on track now for victory against an IX Gaming squad that still is just one set away from picking up this match win.
I mean, I've got to say, like, if Omen Elite can start to regain themselves after that, they must have had a boost after that last victory. If they can win this set to tie things up, then I've got to put my money on their side of the table to take this one home here against all odds. There's another tie. Let's see now what happens, because if IX can control the mid, we might be seeing deja vu all over again, Woody.
Ball's busted down on the bottom left side, and that's no good news for Omen Elite, whose Carl needs to be able to play that cornering game to keep pace against Daddy Second, moving so fast as Max, one of his favorite brawlers, and able to grab those bolts and dash away to safety.
Second, he didn't bank the bolt. The Crying Man is going to go there to pick it up, but that might be costly as IX are trying to bank these bolts. There's 5 in the pocket for Omen Elite. If they can get this one here from Zulan, it's going to be, the shutdown there as well. It's going to be probably 5 left for Omen as the IX push seems inevitable at this stage.
Geometric destruction by IX Gaming with the Angular Elite squad popping down King Zulan. Crying Man and Jar have done it, getting their siege bot powered up to 13. It might be a lucky hit for them, but it's unlucky for Omen Elite as a big strike is coming straight for their Ike once again.
It's going to be, I think, a pretty good defense from Omen Elite. My goodness me, the pressure now from IX as they have to defend their position here in the mid. I think 1 bolt will probably tie it for Omen. 2 bolts should give them the push. They've really got to start capitalizing and gaining some of these kills, because at the moment, IX are all staying alive. 17 seconds. They've got to start confirming these, Woody.
IX Gaming know how deadly Omen Elite can be, even with the smallest of siege bots. That's why they've done their homework and have kept their opponents at bay. Denying access to the midfield grants all the remaining bolts to IX Gaming. The squad on top will stay there with another big bot coming through. This is virtually guaranteed to go through a Game 3 tiebreaker. IX Gaming punched their way to glory, and as the sounds of the Rocky theme track are playing in the background, we've got another tiebreaker arc.
My goodness me, it is starting now to really heat up as Omen Elite now in a very, very perilous spot. It might mean that their chances of taking out of their control of IX beat then Temperstorm, then that will change things, but Temperstorm yet to play today, and at the moment, Omen Elite in massive, massive trouble, Woody.
I really gotta say, hats off to the Siege bot. He's there to deal as much destructive damage as he can, but he still chooses to wear boxing gloves on those powerful fists, forcing his way to the enemy Ike, but not going to come in with the deadly blow that you know he could deliver. He's given them a shot, and that's why we're going to a tiebreaker game number 3 right now, Ark.
Yeah, it's not over. Like, there's still plenty to look at, plenty to play for. The Brawlers are all up to change potentially if teams want to take the risk, but what a time to try something out. Like, this is now a really, probably the most important match that Omen Elite have played all year, and they've got to make it count. They're going to swap out Zulan to Piper, Corey to Pam, Tyrant going to go with Max, and this is now getting really, really tense.
I can feel the pressure closing in on Omen Elite. A match point opportunity for IX Gaming, and they're going to get the first bot. Not a good result at all. First 2 games were tied in the first round, but IX Gaming are going to be coming over the top with the first wave of destruction, really forcing a heavy-handed defense from Omen Elite that is just not enough to crush this metal.
Look at the way IX is just backing themselves up behind that bot. That looks like a very dangerous push potentially, and Omen had to pay very much attention to staying alive in that respect. Tyrant there with the speed boost. Zulan with the jump, very important to open up the space here for him to be able to get maximum value. Look at these shots. Down. Second goes down. Zal goes down. Omen are staying in the game here and starting to get control and bank some bolts.
Piercing rounds shatter the armor of IX Gaming's defenses, and that's an opportunity to tie up on the bolt score. They've got the 5 in the bank. Omen Elite have done it. They've denied the second bot to IX Gaming, and with that, it's all coming down to this third one. Whoever gets the third bot will take this 4th set. Omen Elite need these bolts just to survive.
This could be great for Omen, I've got to say it. They're in a great spot now with second low. Down goes second on the left, as well as crying Zara in his own. I think Omen are going to stay alive just long enough to see the final game owners. Look at these bolts being banged, Woody.
No second chances for Daddy Second. With his elimination, IX Gaming are going to be back on their heels and struggling to match pace with an Omen Elite squad already in the teens of their bolt count. IX Gaming get up to 12. 8 seconds left. 6 seconds. They get another one. 14. 15. It's going to be a draw.
Surely. It's a tie, Woody.
With that tie, IX Gaming have a slim lead, 2% on the board, but can they keep their defenses up? Corey charging in with the heel, doing his best to get a shot in. Piper fires away. The IXG Ike is down to 81, and Omen Elite have done it. Their dreams will stay alive as they march triumphantly to set 5.
What are we saying, Woody? How often do you see that in Siege when it comes down the final stage, the bolts are set and it comes to a tie with a 2% difference? My goodness me, I no doubt Zulan felt the pressure as those sniper shots rained down, and credit to Omen to be able to do that offensive push that was needed to tip the balance as well as remain heavily on the defense. My goodness me.
What? The most important sniper shots of his entire life, and he was not throwing away his shot. Piper is so dangerous, especially at that long range angle, and that was exactly what Omen and Elite needed to come over the top. Only took a few percentage damage on their own Ike with that last salvo of blows. IX Gaming just didn't have a long range brawler able to dish out enough damage to keep up. Really great job to them just to deny that Ike to Omen Elite, but not enough in the end. We are going to the last round, and one of the first times that we've been in such a close 2-2 draw situation launching into the 5th set, Ark.
70 bolts, Woody. 70 bolts. Did you see the stats? IX banked 70 bolts. Like, that is insane that Omen were able to come out of that game mode still ticking. And we are going to see tick on both sides of the table, both Corey and Crying going with that particular brawler. Tyrant going with Bull, and we've seen this strat before from Omen. Expect the gene pull from Zulan and the pickup from Tyrant, and that is going to be the strategy from Omen Elite in this game.
Pirate Star shining bright, that big shield to block incoming hits when he gets low, but can he justify a brawler pick that just can't get very much damage in there unless he gets up close, hiding through the bushes. This is his time to strike. Tick is out of position, and Crying Man goes down to a double team from Corey and Tyrant Star. This bounty duo is working out so well for Omen Elite, ahead 3 stars, 7-4 in this race with a minute remaining.
I gotta say, I've got to hand this to Omen Elite in my mind because I've seen this strategy before and it can work very, very well. An early lead here is exactly what they want. Azulan now being completely obscured by the bushes, looking to find his first victim. And if he connects and Tyrant supports, then that is going to extend the lead in favor of Omen Elite here. And IX, for me, look like they're faltering. They are so far back in their own spawn. They are not feeling the desperation of what they need to do now. They've got to close the gap. There's 30 seconds left to do it.
It's the running of a bull, and IX Gaming is not feeling brave enough to make the charge in there with Tyrant Star shining so bright, but a huge strike from Crying Man will even the odds and help them pull ahead. What an amazing super to knock down the perfect target. Grabbing 4 more stars puts IX Gaming in the lead. A desperate ploy from Omen Elite to make the comeback happen, but not this time. Defenses from IX Gaming hold, and they'll take game number 1.
Oh my goodness me, the drop of the ball there, the tick head came in, equalizing, giving IX Gaming the lead, and then the tripwire stun just cancelled out Zulan entirely, having any chance to make a pull. Match point now for IX Gaming, and Omen Elite now surely are feeling that pressure.
Bathe your eyes in the beauty of this replay as you watch a massive tick super explode right in Corey's face. That clutch play gave IX Gaming the star advantage they need to play defense for the remainder of the match and force the hands of an Omen Elite squad that seemed to be far and ahead but unable to hold on. That's the strength of Bull in the early game. When all the bushes are still up, when you don't know where he's at, you can't plan effectively for when he's coming at you. But in the mid to late game, as the bushes start getting torn down by bombs and mines exploding all over the place, as they start to realize that they need to save their supers for that big target, the momentum shifted back toward IX Gaming just enough for the win.
Yeah, and now the question is, do Omen Elite stay with that Gene Bull idea? It is a good one, but there wasn't much value for me coming from Zulan. There wasn't enough pulls. They are going to go with it again, and that's what I want to see this time around. Zulan needs to get his super quickly. Zar going in with BB here with that Screamer's time with a quick takedown, and Crying Man going with the Jackie here. Interesting choices. Let's see what Zulan does. He misses the first ball. Could be bad for Corey here. Crying picks up the kill.
Jar brought a baseball to a shotgun fight, and Tyrant Star just opened up right in his face, grabbing the first kill for Omen Elite with that middle star claimed as well. That's going to be a slim lead for our blue team on the bottom, but they are not playing as aggressive as they did last game with a Jackie and a BB up on top for IX Gaming. They're just biding their time, waiting for an opening to strike super hard and fast. You know they can deal a ton of damage close range, and with the heals provided by Second Best, they can stay up for a long time, Ark.
Yeah, Omen are going to be cautious here because they are being obviously very conservative here in their approach. They have to be, because if Cryman or Zara lurking in the forefront of those bushes, they can be taken by surprise. But Zulan does need his super right now, and they've got to start working out where IX are lurking because time is ticking, and this is a big timer now for Omen Elite's potential to stay within this competition.
IX Gaming have basically committed to the all-in in the last few seconds. That is going to be a deadly blow against Omen Elite, but only if they can find that clutch opening. Corey will continue to apply pressure, but in a very aggressive manner. Can't get hit a single time by a baseball bat or he is going down. He's got to be very careful of Jar sneaking around in the bushes. Second's going to be sneaking around over on the right side. And here we go. We're collapsing into the final moments, Ark.
Zulan's got to pull. Watch out for that. He pulls it.
Oh!
Down goes that. Tyrant is going to get some shots on second, but Cryman now in a dangerous position. Corey knows it, dashes out of the way. Tyrant going in for maximum value on Second Best here. He's staying alive.
BB is evaporated and Tyrant Star dashes out of the race. IX Gaming are left with egg on their face. Omen Elite score in the second round, and we are going to a brawl down with the tiebreaker.
As if we needed even more tense drama to see this battle out between IX and Omen Elite. What? I can't even imagine the pressure that must have been on the minds of the players. I think we saw it there with Tyrant just yeeting out of the map away from harm there. But my goodness me, the Gene Bull comp did serve them well. A risky one to play, but it pulled them out of the woods right when they needed it most.
Corey had 120 hit points at the end of that last round. That is how much separated IX Gaming from victory in this match and a potential turnaround for Omen Elite, now smashing back with a 1-2 deficit at the beginning of set number 4. They are now both on match point arc. It all comes down to this!
Well, I mean, at the moment, Zulan is low, Tyrant is low. I feel like at the moment... Oh, my goodness me, that could be disastrous for IX as Omen Elite take the lead. Tyrant hanging on. This one is going to... Taken down this time, and that is a lesson learned from Omen.
What a shot here. Zargo's in super aggressive with that bush setup. Can't deny access for long, but he will fire away over this wall. Tearing another new one for Corey on the bottom with more pressure from Crime Man. That might be a kill. Corey's in a lot of trouble, but manages to slide out to safety.
I think Omen need a pull from Zulan quickly, or at least the super. If he can gain his super, then it will put a lot of pressure on IX's ability to push it. This one, Corey goes down! Corey goes down on that side. He's going to respawn, and Omen Elite are in the lead, but only one star now separate them.
IX Gaming still have got to put pressure on this bottom side. Daddy's second long-range shots, trying to decide where to deploy these mines. He's fired away into the enemy section. That's not going to be easy to avoid. They're being painted into a corner. Tyrant Star, the time is now. Fire away up top and break this barricade.
Zulan's so weak, 500 HP, he's gonna go down! Zal will take him down! That is gonna swing the balance with 26 seconds left, and now we need a Gene Super from Omen Elite if they are gonna be able to do anything now, and the retreat surely inbound. Omen in a disastrous spot with 15 seconds left.
What a show! Tyrant Star's got to charge in here and now! The last chance for Omen Elite to make the comeback happen! He's charged up, fires away! 90 seconds goes down! Tyrant Star dashes out, and that's it! The Tyrant! King of the battlefield! Gladiatorial combat with a win by just 1 star! Shining bright and standing tall, Omen Elite will move on. Their world's finals hopes secured by the slimmest of margins.
I am literally speechless. 1 kill more from IX Gaming, 2 stars more on the stats, but I'm calling now. Game of the month happened right there, Woody. Omen, against all possible odds at every possible given turn, come out on top, and Falcone, man, you're gonna have to help me out with some words, bro.
I don't really have any words myself, Ark. I mean, we've seen some dominating matches in the previous region today, but that was... I don't even know where to start. We'll start with our MVP. Our MVP in that match is going to go to Tyrant Star. And after that ending, of course, it's going to go to Tyrant Star. This was a huge victory for Omen Elite as they are fighting for their tournament lives, for their spot in the global finals. And here you go, you're going to see some of these clips, and I don't even know how to start to process what I just saw. We saw a lot of max play with Tyrant Star at first, zooming around the map, dealing large amounts of damage. But yeah, let's look at Bounty, because this is what it's all about right now. Tyrant Star as the bull eventually charged in when it really counted, got that elimination, charged away, got the super energy to charge away again, awarding Omen Elite the win. And there are so many ups and downs for both teams in that match. If you missed any of that, do yourself a favor, go back, rewatch it. But first, let's check out the rest of the day as Omen Elite do take their first win, but now all of our attention goes to Tempo Storm, as it is them that Omen Elite are competing with in order to get that place in the global finals. The next match coming up is going to be Omen Elite against Tempo Storm, the match of the day, if you will. Oh, I don't know if I'm ready for this. I really do not know if I'm ready for this. Let's check out the players one more time. It's Omen Elite, Corey, Supersai, Tyrant Star, Zulan. Zulan claims that Omen Elite have always been a top-tier team, but in the second half of the Brawl Championship, they have really started to dominate. These are some big words. Supersai says that Omen's Elite mechanical gameplay is improved most dramatically, but most importantly, Corey claims that the team have become great friends. And you know what? At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Tempo Storm, on the other hand, we've got Alec, OG, and Bobby. According to OG, Tempo Storm's strongest game type is Gem Grab, but he also says their strongest map are any of the competitive maps. I mean, isn't that every single one that we play? He also says his teammates' biggest strength is that they play a god-tier Dynamite. Not sure how helpful that's going to be, at least in this meta. But I think the next match is just about to start. Guys, take it away.
Thanks very much, Dan. I'm going to let Woody catch his breath a little bit longer because that went down to the wire in our previous series. But it does spell good omens for Omen Elite, shall we say, because the longer this goes on, the better for them. Essentially, their only objective for this monthly final, Woody, was to not finish third place. Because if they did, and then Tempo went and got first place, it was all over. That was that slot locked up. They can still push this race on to next month. What this series is about is closing that gap behind Tempo Storm so that next month they have as many opportunities as possible to go ahead and get themselves that spot at the World Final.
I mean, calling it a gap is generous at best, Tridd. It's only 10 points that separate Tempo Storm barely in the lead over Omen Elite. Yep. But with Omen Elite struggling so hard just to keep their heads above water against IX Gaming, will they be able to weather the storm coming at them right now? A big hit for Tempo Storm here and now could end Omen Elite's hopes. But Tempo Storm can't take this one for granted either. They need wins to stay on top.
Absolutely, and Omen Elite, if they get out a victory here, that 10-point deficit, well, that might swing hands. Bobby. Gonna press forward on the Pam here, so they're running with Pam, B, and Max for Tempo Storm. On the side of Omen Elite, they're running pretty much the exact same thing, except they're going for the Sprout instead of the B.
Yeah, Sprout has seen a lot of action alongside Barley, one of the best throwers in the game, especially when you need to be able to close out particular avenues of attack. Corey using that super to deny access to Bobby, who's just kind of stuck with his hands, somewhere on the device, but not able to get much value out of it. Big hit here from King Zulan, but the crossfire not going to be enough to take OG down. We need one more shot from Corey to get the job done.
And they're boxed in. If Bobby goes down here, this is going to be big for Tyrant Star, but the sealing station will come out immediately destroyed. But it is enough to force Omen Elite away, meaning Tempo Storm can breathe safe a little bit longer.
Oh.
They're going to struggle to get past Zulan, who's set up a healing station of his own.
Yeah, nice read there from OG. Knew exactly where Tyrant Star was. Fired into the bushes, but couldn't land the shot. King Zulan's healing turret is doing some amazing work, helping out the Tempo Storm squad to charge toward victory. Corey is ready to make the goal happen, but he's blocked himself off. Couldn't make it to the goal line because he had used his own super to close that avenue of attack.
Not ideal. In fact, far from ideal, Woody. It does slow everything down. I mean, Tempo Storm can regroup. They're not unable to capitalize on the man advantage they created for themselves. And make no mistake, Omen Elite are consistently out-fragging Tempo Storm right now and are creating so many opportunities to score. They just haven't been able to convert it yet.
Ooh, big hit for Tempo Storm as they knock Corey down. Great sniper shot out there from OG as he's going to get his supercharged B hits even more deadly in overtime. Without any boxes to block those shots, expect OG's star to rise high in the sky.
Time to start going for the 1v1 with Alec backs off because he knows Bobby's going to come around and reinforce that one. Omen Elite have locked Tempo in their spawn. When we hit overtime, Woody,
oh man,
Omen are going to have the advantage here unless they start faltering right now. Tempo Storm going to force them away, but they'll heal up in time for overtime.
He bombs by Corey, almost enough to take OG down, but it's going to need a little bit more. He's taking a lot.
Oh, they got him.
Grab blasts him.
And TyranStar's going to go grab the ball. Alex there, passes it into the center. Bobby collects, clears it out to make sure it doesn't go in. That could have been it for Omen Elite, but they're forced away by Tempo Storm's respawns.
That ball was so close to the goal line, I was worried that Bobby was going to tip it in. If he had moved even a single inch backwards, that might have happened. But great heads-up play there, keeps his dreams alive as Tempo Storm push it back down to the midfield. OG, it's all up to you, buddy. Long-range shots, we need to take these Omen Elite brawlers down here and now.
Bobby going to put down the healing station, immediately destroyed. There's no cover to hide it behind.
Boom!
Going to move forward. There's the shot to Zulan. Oh, the shot's not going to land. 23 HP. It's sat in the middle. The kills have to come in now. Tempo Storm. They've done enough, Woody. They're going to have to walk it over the line. Bobby gains the goal with 15 to spare, and Tempo Storm take the first game.
A tornado warning as Omen Elite retreat into their bunker and Tempo Storm walk it past the line. Playing defense for much of that first round, they nonetheless struck back hard. You cannot over-prepare for a squad like Tempo Storm. They really came in over the top, and with that first game win have set the storyline for this matchup now. Will Omen Elite be able to make this comeback happen, or has that first hit really knocked them down hard?
It's just the first round of many, Woody, and it can knock a few mentals if it happens, but I think Tempo Storm and both Omen Elite have been in the situation similar for a lot of matches in these monthly finals. I can imagine they've got the stamina to go forth the distance with this one. Interesting that we're going to see some adaptations come in from Omen Elite. They're going to bring the Nani to the field, which is not something we see a lot on Brawl Ball this past monthly final. Let's see what TyranStar's bringing, but Bobby has a good answer to that one. Going onto the Mortis, going to close that gap fast and should be able to punish TyranStar quite handedly.
OG forced back on defense, can't handle the crossfire from Corey and Zulan, who are going in deep. Heavy-handed strike here, and Bobby doing his best to close out some enemies. Corey goes down, and that's going to be no more healing for these two heavy hitters out back. The glass cannons, Nani and Max, need some more support. They're going to pull back and let Corey give him the helping hand.
Oh, Corey's so split from him. He's got this healing station online. Deployed it very defensively. And Alec wasn't going to be outdone. Drops that down. What? Great stun. Finishes up there. And TyranStar had no answer for that one. Zulan going to hold onto the ball. Put it in the back corner. Great dash forward by Bobby. Takes out Corey. And to King Zulan now on the back foot. They are locked in the spawn. This is the exact opposite of what we saw in game one.
Deadly charge by Bobby, and Mortis is looking like a great pick for Tempo Storm this time. Didn't find the throwers they were hoping for, but have nonetheless made it to the back line so many times. With a 3v1, King Zulan makes a threatening charge toward the top, but all he's going to do is delay a bit. We're moving into the last minute of play. Tempo Storm far and ahead, the favorite to take it. Can they score here and now?
Gonna move it round. There's a lot of HP on OG. They have to burn him away. Oh, they got him just on the line. And Alec can't get the final touch as Zulan goes for the clearance to keep it away. They're gonna try and box him in. But, oh, Alec finding him on the back end. That's not good for Omen.
I am sweating just as many bullets as these players are firing at the enemy line. A hit from Jackie is so deadly, but TyranStar is keeping his distance perfectly. Those shots from Nani dish out maximum damage at that optimal range. And here he goes, fires a super away, and that's a big blast on Alex's face. He drops his healing turret just to stay alive, but can't keep up. King Zulan knocks him apart, and Tempo Storm are going to be struggling once again to fight back against an Omen Elite squad set up heavy on the midfield.
They're going to dash through Corey. Bobby's found that first pick. They can pass it down if they want to. Weaving it around this healing station. TyranStar gets a frag onto Alec to slow it all down. Passed back to him. He has control of the ball. Overtime's about to go into effect, but they want to be at full strength before they commit.
Zappy zap damage from TyranStar. Long range hits on OG force the team Tempo Storm squad back to their own goal line, but how far back can they go? A super good score in here! Corey gets close, sends the cross!
Oh, it's big from OG! Oh, he went for it, Woody, it's not enough, but the body blocking from Zulan just means they can walk it over the line, and Omen Elite tie out the set.
Excellent job from Omen Elite. Great teamwork there from Zulan to soak those shots. That Scrap Blaster is nothing to sneeze at, but when you've got teamwork on your side, you can power through the most difficult obstacles. Tempo Storm came so close to scoring in the mid-game there, but just couldn't get it past, even with those big hits coming in from Alec. Hats off to both teams. A well-deserved Game 3 will be coming up shortly.
Going down to the wire already, we knew this was going to be close. These two teams, the ones fighting it out for that final North American spot, or North America and LATAM North to be more precise. Do you expect this to be hotly contested between the two? Still, going down to the wire in the first set. That could be the first of many. I don't think the Nani worked out for Omen Elite too well in that one. I mean, they were able to go ahead and get the goal at the end ultimately, but I just don't have a lot of confidence in it.
It's just a really fast-paced squad from Tempo Storm, especially running someone like Mortis, who can sneak back behind the lines of fire in a very quick way, threatening Nani and really making it difficult for him to get properly set up. But bringing Nani back again nonetheless. There's no Mortis this time from Tempo Storm. The throwers are out of commission as we're going all about fire straight to the face with all 6 brawlers here.
They'll dash behind cover for now. Alex sitting on the speed boost for Bobby. Oh, he intercepts it. The gadget negates that damage as well. Beautifully timed just to eliminate the super from Tyrant Star. Pass the ball back into Omen's court. The healing station now set up for Bobby and Alec. Corey's going to answer back with exactly the same. Stalemate in the middle. Tyrant Star gets that pick. Cannon back. Zulan's on the offensive. He's sprinting for the goal. He's got behind him. He found the needle. And Omen take an early goal.
Like a needle in a haystack, he finds that one key spot to get through and drill the ball in. Omen Elite in the leading position now, having dropped that first round. But Tempo Storm are not going to take any time wasted. OG grabs the ball, slips it past the goal line. It's tied up now, Tridd.
Okay, all right. Tempo Storm clapping back. Next goal decides it all. And we're looking to see the Maxes get their supers online. Those seem to be the instigators of both the good attempts at the goal so far. Tyrant Star at range, needs to be cautious of OG. A couple of shots from them will end that fight and end the life of Nani. Gonna push the healing station aggressively. Wrap back around from Alex. Zulan goes to meet him to catch him off. The ball's in the back end. Nani with the peep is gonna clear him out. Alec has to tank it with the gadget. That's enough to shut it down.
Very dicey play there from Alex, forced to swap lanes and losing a lot of time at it, but it looks like that positioning advantage will get them exactly what they need. Tempo Storm get the team like they were looking for and are going to be moving back on the bottom side here. Omen Elite respawning and coming out now are going to be in an awkward spot. Can they force off a Tempo Storm squad? Looks like they're having trouble with it. King Zulan goes down. Tyrant Star in a risky position, but he gets the kill he's looking for, and we're back to a reset in the midfield, Tridd.
Go ahead and get some tags. Stop the healing regen for Corey to go and finish him off. Ball in the middle for Tyrant Star. They're placing it forward. This might be an overtime goal they're going for. They need to build supers online if they want to have an attempt at it, but they're losing bodies in the field. This is going to be a good counter from Tempo Storm. Alex having an opportunity to heal. He'll have to tank it up from Tyrant's damage. They're going to make a shot on goal. Super online for him. The pressure's there. He's going to send the peep forward. Teleports with the gadget. Oh, Alec, he clears it all out and buys time for the respawns to come in.
Alec, the goalie of the century. What a great read there. Saw the gadget used by Nani and took him out just when he needed to. That could have very easily been a goal by Omen Elite, but Tempo Storm will hold their heads high. It's still a drawn game and only 36 seconds left. Fire on the floor in the middle of this arena as both teams vying for control. Omen Elite carrying ahead with the ball. Tyrant Star takes it all the way to the line. Gets it past!
Corey walks it over with the Pam. Set number 1 going the way of Omen Elite. Brawl ball coming down to the wire once again. And I love the attempt from them as well. Tempo Storm found ways to make the Nani work. It was less about the ultimate, less about the super, less about the gadget uses, more about the raw damage that was coming out there. It was enough to tank through the healing stations, tank through the Pam, and break down every obstacle that Tempo Storm put in their way.
So many tight finishes time and again when it seemed like all hope was lost. Finding a way to get the ball past the line. Look at Corey there on that last goal. Less than 1,000 hit points remaining on that final brawler, but charging through with every ounce of strength they had. That's what it took to get the win against a Tempo Storm squad that went toe-to-toe with them and dropping in set number 1. They won't be looking to do that again. They're ahead right now in the leaderboards, but their position is looking fragile as Omen Elite, victorious in match number 1, have taken the first set off their heads.
Moving over to Stone Fort. Gem Grab is our next stop. And we'll see them come out on the bow, the sprout, and the Pam for Omen Elite. Similar story, except they're bringing the Sandy. I think that's the first time we've seen that today. Bobby rolling out with that one.
Yeah, playing very aggressively too. Charges right up into Zulan's face and knocks him down. He'll be out for the count and taking 40 winks as he respawns and moves back in. But Alec, the gem carrier here for Tempo Storm, takes a beating of his own. Nice job to Tyrant Star and Corey finding him out of position. Even a super from Bobby isn't going to be able to help the rest of his squad mates out as he takes a big hit and is going to have to pull back on defense. Uses his gadget though and heals back up. He'll stay in the action a bit longer, Tridd.
Pushing him away, and then King Zulan on the back foot. Gems relatively even. There is an advantage for Tempo Storm coming in because they have the mid control. They're unable to get onto Zulan. And they're going to see OG be backed away from these brushes. As that speed boost from Alec as he equalizes the gem cap moving forward. This is a great pincer coming in. They want to pinch him in. Bobby bit off more than he can chew because Tyrant Star slammed him from behind.
Grab and hold with a vice grip. Tempo Storm playing extremely aggressively here and getting rewarded for it. A 6-4 gem line in their advantage as they fire away, seemingly unconcerned with the objective. They're just going to get those kills and let the gems rack up as they may. Now with double the number of gems, Tempo Storm finally pushed back a little bit out of that midsection as they're waiting for their third brawler to respawn. Here comes Bobby.
Around the side, he's got the speed boost. He's trying to pop the super, grabs all the gems from Zulan. What is your gem carrier doing that far up? So vulnerable when you've got a max in play. They're able to answer back and scoop back some of these gems, I believe. But you shouldn't be putting Zulan in that spot ever again.
Very risky play, but Omen Elite have held on with their defense there. Corey using that super exactly when he needed it most. Seals off the entrance there from Tyrant Star, and OG going down. It's going to give some additional support on that left side. Blue team now have the countdown behind for most of this game, but holding court in the middle. Tempo Storm have been unable to catch back up, and it looks like they won't be able to. Nearing a team wipe, Omen Elite approaching the glorious victory they've sought for so long.
Well, there you go. They're going to take that first game in the set, and they force away to set point. They're climbing up, Woody. Like you said, they were behind for most of that round. Got very dicey when they lost Zulan in the middle of the map as well, but they were able to reclaim the gems. They're using Sprout's wall to force Summer Tempo actually to walk over the bow mines that were being put out by Zulan and helping them to get that extra damage and crowd control, which is helping mopping up a bunch of these kills in the mid. It's really powerful for Corey to be able to shut down the routes of ingress to the actual site and the spawner on this map. There's 4 entry points. You can just remove one of them with one of the walls and force a split in the same way you would do a siege bot.
It's a very tall ladder to climb, but the prize that sits atop is so worth it. World's qualification may very well be determined by this match right here. Tempo Storm on their heels, knocked back by an Omen Elite squad that is so pliable, so flexible, and able to bend back and snap right in their faces when they need the damage the most. Tempo Storm gonna be a little bit flat-footed here as Bo is caught out of position against Tyrant Star. Might be squeezed, but no, it looks like Alec is gonna retreat and get to safety once again. Tempo holding on to all the gems in the game right now, all 5 of them, as they keep this midfield control strong, Tridd.
Yeah, dominant clap back from Tempo Storm. They've got control of the gem spawn as well with those mines in place. Bobby under pressure from Zulan right now as Alec wants to move back into the mid. Corey will pick up the first gem. Photosynthesis helping to negate that brutal damage coming in from Alec as he sweeps up a kill, but he's running into Corey. Wants to find it, has to. Oh! Tyrant Star is here and dashes away from the mines as well.
Brilliant use of the gadget there by Alec, keeping those 6 gems safe, even if just barely. A courier like that is worth a lot when there's so many gems on the line. Great minefield set up by OG is going to give Tempo Storm all the gems they need for the countdown, and that is it. He is so far back now, there is no way Omen Elite can find him hidden in the bushes up there, and that's going to be an equalizer for Tempo Storm.
Well, it was unless Bobby decided he was going to run forward. I don't think they can get the kill now. They've run out of seconds. Hang on a minute. Dropping him down to 1, but great body blocking by Alec, and they're allowing that extra pressure to come in to make sure they didn't have the time to get that kill. That's going to be Tempo Storm equalizing the set as we once again go to a game number 3.
There's a second wave coming through with this Storm. The tied set number 2 is another opportunity for the comeback to cap it in right now. Bobby from Tempo Storm making an unconventional pick with this Sandy selection, but able to hold on to those gems really well, and a gadget that can top him back off to full when he takes another hit, especially if he's hiding in his own super. it's a really tricky play from Tempo Storm, a bit of a risky one, and if I may say so, but I think a really well-executed game number 2. We'll see if they bring the same strat in match number 3. It's starting up now, Tridd.
Gonna bring the same shot again, sticking with the Sandy, Woody. So, see more of that coming onto the field, and there's no adaptations from Omen Elite. They're happy with the comps as well. It's just a matter of execution for them.
You know, some people don't like sand. It's rough and coarse and irritating, gets everywhere, but doesn't seem to bother this Tempo Storm squad. Bobby up top will be healing up nice and safe behind that line of walls, but can't keep pace against both Corey and Zulan firing away at him. Alec charging in bravely, but in the 2v1, can he hold his own?
No, absolutely not. He's a max. He used all of his ammo, dashed forward as well into a vulnerable spot. I think the attempt there was to get behind him, allow his health to regen and draw some attention. If you finish him off, that's never going to work.
Tempo Storm yet to claim a single gem, and with Corey super set up to deny access to the mid, that's going to be 7, lucky 7 for Omen Elite. Just need 3 more, and one of them's already spawned. Time now for Tempo Storm to put it all on the line. They charge into the core, but the eye of the hurricane is no safe place to be. They're forced back out again, and Bobby, fighting for his life, is going to be the last bit of distraction for the Storm.
Oh no, Tyrant Star. You fell victim to the classic of blunders, as OG was able to finish him up with the trip mines. They still retain their gem lead for now, something that Tempo Storm is slowly creeping up behind. They did lose a lot of that mid-pressure, and with these mines shutting down the options, both Alec and Corey are uncertain whether they want to go for this one. Alec will sneak in the gem as Tyrant Star goes aggressive for the kill. Want to shut this down, the speed boost won't save him. Bobby being called off by Corey. They need to find him. Zulan has a beeline for the gems. OG on the flank, trying to shut him down. He's bought enough time. OG again, as he's going to explain Minesweeper. Oh, he falls victim to the vines. King Zulan is there, but the countdown begins for Tempo Storm. Bobby and Alec in full retreat. They have time to contest, Woody.
Explosions all over the map as chaos reigns, but control from Tempo Storm will keep them in charge, holding on to the reins of this
they got a cancel!
chariot of destruction tearing through this amphitheater. Tempo Storm keep the countdown. Zulan on the corner, not enough to stop it. He needs support, and he needs it now, Tridd.
They're going to put the Sandy super down. Bobby with the clearance. They're not going to be able to touch Alec, and there he done it. It wasn't the first countdown, Woody, it was the second. Tempo Storm going to take that game and force us out to an equal scoreline over the match.
What a comeback! Omen Elite seemed unstoppable, but Tempo Storm have raged through, and with an expert play there, OG kept his team's chances alive. Look at all those mines in the center and all the gems left to grab. Alec dashing out to victory, barely staying alive, but barely is good enough. All 10 gems in his hands throughout the entirety of that last countdown, giving the win to Tempo Storm. Fewer kills, less damage, but he's got it where it matters most, holding on to those sweet, precious blue or purple babies, this gen.
Oh, yeah, look at that. 56 to 45 when you look at the gem difference. Tempo Storm walking away with a gem grab, and they're going to equalize the series. Like you said, impressive plays by OG at the end there to win out these duels and then also to deploy those mines. Moving over to Siege next. Olive Branch is our map of choice for this series.
Grasp your precious and keep it safe, Tridd. Don't let them touch the preciouses.
Just so weird, man.
Safe. All right, now we're competing for bolts. It's no longer about gems. Throw that out. New meta, build up a big bot, and you get the win.
Speaking of new meta, what's a Spike doing on? No, what's a Tick doing on this map? We haven't seen Tick on Siege for a while.
I don't know. He's long range though, and there's a lot of obstacles to hide behind here. OG is not going to be very competitive for bolts at all, and he's going to need a lot of kills to justify this off-meta pick for Tick.
Well, Siegebot's going to press forward. It's only a level 2, so we expect it to get burnt away quite fast. Sprout's not in a position to add a wall, which could be absolutely crippling with the terrain that we see on this map. And so the bot will get the connection, and some damage comes in from OG as well. 34% on the first pass, but Omen Elite have 4 bolts for the next siege.
Oh my god, I don't know how Tempo Storm managed to get that bot on their side. With 4 bolts for Omen Elite, this second one's going to be a doozy, Tridd. King Zulan and Alec 26, the Pam race for for control of the middle. Looks like it's going in Omen Elite's favor as Zulan will pick up another bolt. Alec charging into his own destruction. What a play by King Zulan, keeping that healing turret up for all of his friends. That bolt level up to 8 now, and Omen Elite's about to punch back.
All right, level 8 siege bot coming in on this one, pushing forward. The healing station's there, going to be moving around. Bobby doesn't have super online once again, so no delay tactics from the Sprout, and the bot is making the connection, doing all of the work to shut this one down, dropping it below 50% HP. And the last siege, the bolt camp is relatively close, Woody, so this could go either way.
Yeah, and Omen Elite definitely want to hold on to this bot at all chances. Tempo Storm need to grab it if they want to get the win here. It's behind by so many hit points on their Ike. There's no way that they can get the pickup unless they grab these bolts here and now. Bobby doing his best to give his team a shot, but Tyrant Star and King Zulan holding on to control of the mid. Seems like they won't give a single inch here. A level 9 siege bot coming in from Omen Elite is all that they needed. Tempo Storm don't have a chance or a prayer.
All right, we're going to press forward again, and this is not going to be the play for Tempo Storm. Once the bot makes the connection, it's all over. Omen Elite take game number 1.
Star player for Tyrant Star, the Barley, drinking all the maple syrup he can find and dishing it out with so much skill here. I think Tyrant Star definitely the MVP of this round, keeping OG out of commission on the back line. Tick can deal a lot of damage, but there's a reason why we don't see him picked very often in these setups, even with so many obstacles to hide behind. A thrower like Barley, or God forbid if someone had brought Mortis, that would have been absolutely destructive. Big lead now for Omen Elite on that first game. A risky pick from Tempo Storm, not rewarded.
Let's see if they can mix it up then. What are they going to bring to the table? They brought the Mortis this time, so Tyrant Star comes out on it. Are we going to see a vulnerable thrower in the mix? Well, the only real target for him right now is the Sprout. If he can close that gap and get on top of the Sprout, not going to have a good time.
Yeah, really not good. A good time that time for Tyrant Star. Made his way toward the middle, trying to grab that bolt, but was completely shut down by Bobby and OG. Tempo Storm might see some death in Tyrant Star's eyes, but they are going to be the Grim Reapers of the first round. Siegebot coming in level 3 up top.
Clomping along the middle of the field. Corey's going to move around into position. He's got the super online, too late to deploy it to get the stagger. We'll hold on to that for now to help with the mid control. The bot is getting a lot of value right now, dropping it to 72%. First strike for Tempo Storm.
Yeah, and a significant one at that, Tridd. 28% is nothing to sneeze at. It can definitely be the difference between victory and defeat, especially in the late game. Only having to invest 2 bolts to get that big of a hit and grabbing midfield advantage. Tempo Storm looking very strong in game number 2. They've got their heads back on straight, and with a reliable comp, well positioned in the meta, they have really shut down Tyrant Star, Corey, and King Zulan at the bottom. Omen Elite gonna have to force another defense now against a big siege bot coming in.
Tyrant Star is having such a rough game, Woody. He's been forced out so many fights by the Sprout walls, and then when he tries to move in, he takes too much damage before he finds value again, going down without getting a kill, just because there's so much damage on the side of Tempo Storm that when he tries to move in, it's already too late. 25% being taken down. One more siege should do it. This last siege from Omen Elite has to be the fattest siege we have ever seen. Otherwise, they're going to end up losing this round.
Yeah, Tempo Storm playing very aggressively, though, kind of uncharacteristically aggressive, actually, if you ask me, on that last siege bot. Seemed like they thought that they could just tear through that Ike altogether with the opportunity to come back now. Omen Elite are almost guaranteed to get this last siege bot. Will Tempo Storm try to finish off that 21% Ike, or will they play the safe game on defense? I think that
no, they're going to play for defense, Woody. They have to. It's the only play. Bobby needs to try and find some damage. That super comes online. He has to shut down Tyrant Star's path of ingress. Not been able to do so, but the Ike did get some targeting on him. But Siegebot down to 22% already. This should go down. Tempo Storm, they've done enough, Woody. They've played the defense well. They will take control and tie out the set.
Loaded up on Lepton. That siege bot was a bit too thin. Not the fat one you were looking for, Tridd, to get the win for our friends over at Omen Elite. A tied up set number 3 as Tempo Storm put it back on the board and remain in contention. Even match overall. 1-1 set score and a 1-1 in this third round.
Yeah, and the thing about the Mortis that we see at this level of play, Woody, is that the Mortis is always like the surprise factor typically comes out, and that's what gives you your value because it's not very strong independently when you know how to play around it. Tyrant Star wasn't able to find any value there, so even with the surprise factor, it didn't really play out for them, and that's why you can see them default back to providing this Max and Sprout combo to go into the mirror against Tempo Storm.
Key dash in there from Alex grabs the first bolt, but at what cost? Was it worth it when so much is on the line? They'll have to pull back, and it looks like they won't get that first siege bot. Omen Elite kind of collapsing, though, and falling apart. It's going to be a tie in round number 1, with Tempo Storm picking up the advantage over on that right side. That's where all the bolts are spawning, and Bobby's doing a great job firing away with so many seed bombs to keep these enemies at bay.
Talked about an uncharacteristically aggressive Tempo Storm. Well, Alex feeling that right now. Going super aggressive to hunt down these kills, and he was punished in the last one. It's good to see that change for this attack and him find some value without going down. But now he's going to try and 1v1 Corey up in his face. They need to close down this 3-bolt deficit they're currently suffering from, because Omen Elite will still have the edge when it comes around to this next siege, but there is...
Bobby has got more growth than the Svalbard Seed Vault, firing away those bombs into the middle. It's the artillery fire that we have been waiting for. Tempo Storm with a big bolt score, but not enough to keep pace against the Omen Elite squad, who will get the second bot. It's level 11 and menacing that top side, but Tempo Storm almost guaranteed to get the final siege if they could just hold on for this big assault. Down into the 50s, into the 40s, Tridd.
They've cleared the bot out, though, so that's a great start for them. There's a healing station. It's not with the rest of the team. So Omen can't stay here for the long haul, but they've done enough. 23% damage. This huge bolt lead needs to get a slightly larger, and Tempo Storm need to set up for this last siege. If they do not, they will end up losing this set.
That's a massive lead, and this is going to be one of the biggest bots we've ever seen. 17 in the hands of Tempo Storm, up to 18 now. 25 seconds left.
Give us 20. Ah, level 19. So close to being the big 20 siege bot, but it's still going to run down all the same. Clomp it away down into the middle of the point, gets into Ike range as they're going to start pressing against the healing station. It's still there, eliminates one of the members. They're in position, there's the connection. It's a race against time to hit 23%, but all members of Tempo Storm will be cleared out. The bot isn't strong enough, and Omen Elite will take the set.
Not enough! Omen Elite hold on to their lives, and with victory over Tempo Storm in set number 3, they will be moving on victorious march. Congratulations to Corey, the MVP of that last round, holding on and knocking down the enemy brawlers as they advanced alongside that bot. You really want to have all 3 of your guys heads up and supporting the bot if you need to deal so much damage. How much did they need? 78% off that Ike. They did a valiant effort, but bringing it only down to 43% was not even close. Congratulations to Omen Elite. A slim stat line here to look at, Tridd.
Absolutely, and at the end there, a lot of that came down to Tyrant Star. Tyrant Star playing cleanup on the back line. He didn't go for the bot. He was like, no, I'm going to clear out the ads of the raid, if you will, and started clearing out members of Tempo Storm. You saw the Sprout Wall come down to slip away and divide the team potentially in that middle section. It just enabled Tyrant Star to go forward and find these picks and take a lot of the bite out of this push. Looking towards set number 4, it's Bounty, and we're going over the Heat Wave.
Well, if you thought this ominous storm coming through was bad enough, we are going to be turning up the temperature. A heat wave map is next, where we've got a lot of bushes to hide around in. It's all about grabbing those kills, though, as Bounty is not going to be easy for either team. They're going to have to play very cautiously and defensively. Any kill you give up could be the end of it, Tridd.
Absolutely, as we're getting ready for that 4th set. And we've seen some interesting strategies on this map. A lot of Sprout being played, if I remember correctly, on Heat Wave, so not really out of pocket for what we see from people like Corey. So it's not a bad selection to come in if you're Omen Elite. We'll see what they finally run out with when it comes around to the map type. So there we have it. Gene, Carl, and the Sprout for Omen Elite. When we look to Tempo Storm, they're taking a Sandy and Rosa, so a slightly tankier composition that it might be lacking in heals to support such a team.
Great job here by Tempo Storm, sticking to what they know works best. Sandy worked really well for them in Gem Grab. That's the only set win they've scored so far, and they're going to need to pull it back again in this third set if they want to keep their chances alive. Tyrant Star taking a big beating, and OG's done it, knocks him apart with help from Alec there. Dodges that Seed Blast from Corey and will stay alive for a 3-0 advantage. Massive super from Alec, knocks those brawlers down, but doesn't get a kill, Tridd.
Not able to convert it to a kill, unfortunately, Woody. And Alec was able to win out that trade, the duel, if you will, against Tyrant Star. Whoever throws the pickaxe first typically wins in those trades because they can bounce behind cover on the recall and get 2 strokes of damage from safety. Oof. And that's why Alec was ended up winning the duel. Tyrant Star answers back, though, with the help of Zulan. They now go to 1 star behind.
Corey knows OG is lurking in the bushes over there, keeps firing away with those Seed Blasts, but OG is not going to give up an easy shot. Tyrant Star on defense eliminates Alec 26, and that is a big pickup for Omen Elite. They're going to hold the lead now, and just 40 seconds left for Tempo Storm to make this comeback happen. OG's looking deadly, though, menacing that left side, not going to give Omen Elite an easy lineup on the offense.
Playing it further back. OG has to move in. Bobby sneaking with the Sandstorm, as has Alec. All of these beefy units looking to use it to close the gap. Alec's in position. OG moves forward. Tyrant Spar's been split, but he will cut through OG to reclaim his place with team. Tyrant Star again on the back line, and Alec is next on the chopping block. But here come reinforcements. OG's coming in. There's 10 seconds left, Woody.
It's not over yet. These brawlers are really far down. OG gets eliminated, and that might be enough. 11 stars to 10. Omen Elite have lost it. Tempo Storm get the final kill thanks to Bobby, and they win it all.
Playing the defensive game, it cost them so much in their HP pool, and when the respawns came in for Tempo, they were able to convert them into kills. OG getting in the faces of Omen Elite when they were low on ammo, low on HP, and when it came down to the wire, Tempo boxed them in a corner and absolutely crushed them. Tempo Storm reclaiming the lead right at the end to take game number 1.
What an insane amount of pressure, like a hydraulic drill just demolishing the opposition. Look, that one shot on Alec could have made all the difference. Actually, I guess they would have still just had 13 stars, not enough to catch up, but still so close at the end, and Tempo Storm playing to perfection, grabbing that game, but behind in the set score. Can they do it again, Tridd?
See if they can as they move on to this map. Again, no adaptations from either of these team comps. They're happy with what they're rolling out with. Corey finding value by hitting 2 for 1 with his seeds as they're throwing them out again. Alec being taken out by Tyrant, answered back, but it's Tempo who take that early lead because of the star and the order of the kill.
Holy crap.
Bobby?
And Bobby barely holding on to dear life. An advantage for Tempo Storm, but they barely retreat alive.
And Bobby will now hold off to the side. Tyrant tossing him away with the pickaxes. OG wants to take the more direct route. They're starting to crush away these brushes. Corey using his super to deny the paths that these tankier members want to take. Alec moves forward, pulled in by Zulan. Usually a risk, but when you've already taken half of his HP, Zulan does not sweat under the pressure of that pull.
Big yikes for Bobby. One more hit would eliminate him. He's going to have to pull back. And OG, usually a very aggressive brawler, is having to play defense now, back on the final line, trying to keep Tyrant Star off of them. Alec 26 takes another shot at Glory, firing away at King Zulan, but he's only hitting the wall, hasn't landed any of his shots yet. And Omen Elite will pull ahead with another kill, 6 to 4 stars. Can Alec get a knockback here?
Oh, Zulan, what are you doing? Oh, he cancels it out. Great gadget to stop the super. That was incredibly risky to go point blank range against a Carl with super online. But now they will back up. This is the position Omen Elite want to be in. Hold the defensive, have Tempo run at them, burn them through on the entry, and then use the magic hand to take the kills when they want them, just like that onto OG. Bobby is next. One more to find Alec and guarantee your lead. Tyrant Star spins the win. 20 seconds remaining.
The ripping and the tearing. Omen Elite gaze into the crystal ball and see their future, and it's a bright one indeed. A 13 4-star advantage is not enough for Tempo Storm to be able to overcome. Back on their heels, they've made a charge like this before.
Hold up.
But are not
they find Zulan.
rewarded.
Oh, they were so close. They would have got Zulan, Woody. They could have answered back if long as they didn't also lose themselves another member like they did. Alec going down was disastrous right at the end. You're right, now Omen Elite tie out the set. There we are at match point on Bounty. And Omen Elite, they can secure first place in this monthly final with this victory and put them in an incredible spot for next month's final, where it will come down to the wire, and one of these two teams will be crowned the North American representative.
Excellent work to Omen Elite, keeping their heads on straight, even with so much pressure coming in from a Tempo Storm that had just picked up game number 1. Omen Elite are now in a match point position for a World's Finals spot. Knocking down Tempo Storm here would be so important, and being able to leapfrog over to the number 1 position on the North American leaderboard. They're only behind by 10 points, and this might be the decisive game. Keep your eyes peeled for every single pixel, because either team that gets the edge on this next round is going to really be patting themselves on the back come World Finals time.
Here we go. Final attempt. No changes for Omen Elite, and it looks like Tempo Storm are sticking with the same as well. Early control is what Tempo needs here, but they've already lost it to Corey. Omen Elite take an early gain yet again. Tyrant Star about to go down, gets the magic pass, but it's not enough as Bobby will also escape. Equalized out, but because Tempo Storm got the first Lone Star, they will take the lead by 1.
Lone Star! He's the only man brave enough to give me the raspberry. A charge back from Omen Elite, well rewarded, as Alec26 is also caught out of position. And that's a 7-3 hit for Omen Elite, a 4-star lead. OG hiding in the bushes as best he can. He's gonna give his chance. There he goes. Punches away for 1
Oh,
kill.
Tyrant Star, that's disgusting. Zulan will follow up as well. 1 minute, 5 seconds remaining. 7-star lead. The high priority targets. Kill Zulan, kill Corey. Tempo Storm, it's your path back into this.
55 seconds remain, and 7 stars separate Tempo Storm from any hope at Worlds qualification. Alec26 and OG looking for an avenue of glory, but it's shut down time and again. A super to retreat? Not this time. Tyrant Star gets the kill and will get an even bigger gap in the lead.
Oh, super comes online just in time for OG. It's not enough to save him. Bobby forcing him into the corner. 30 seconds remaining. He's just increasing the game. I think this is over, Woody. I think Omen Elite have just done enough to give themselves a better position and push themselves closer to that World Finals spot. 20 seconds left in it for Tempo Storm to clap back.
20 stars is too much to ask. They would need a team wipe and keeping everyone alive. With that kill right there, Alec26 is down, and the chances of World Finals for this month are out for Tempo Storm. Sick, Simper, Tyrannus Star. Thus it goes with a Thunder Strike. Tempo Storm are eliminated, and your victors for the North American region are Omen Elite.
Okay, Omen Elite taking first place is absolutely huge for them. Like we said, it puts them in a better position to get that World Final spot. Now what's left to play for in the rest of North America is when Tempo Storm goes up against IX Gaming. Tempo Storm have to win that match. They have to come second. Otherwise, this gap from Omen Elite becomes that much harder to overcome. This is quite ridiculous how the script has flipped. Tempo Storm had the position of power at the coming into this monthly final. I think they've just lost it over the course of these 2 matches.
Glory and celebration for Corey, Zulan, Super Sai, and Tyrant Star. This Omen Elite squad have done it. With a pickup here, they'll take the $9,000 prize and the first place spot on the leaderboard. Tempo Storm will be in a very perilous spot. Falcone, cue us up for the next round.
Thank you very much, Woody. And you guys summed it up pretty nicely. Things are getting spicy in this region. But before we get into that, let's get into our MVP for that last match. And it's going to be Zulan. Zulan played some really incredible games, starting way back in the first matchup, where he played as Max, dealing the damage, soaking up the damage in Brawl Ball when he needed to, dealing the damage when he needed to, and being exactly wherever he needed to be. Zulan got an important, beautiful goal early in Game 3, and in overtime in the end, it came down to pure damage, with Zulan was key in dealing that damage. Zulan spent most of Gem Grab in the center, dominating the map. Back to Pam in Siege, where Zulan confidently protected the center, allowing his teammates to get so many bolts, winning 2 vital sieges. And then later in Bounty, as Gene, Zulan played a very defensive game, getting those strategic pulls, when it counted and securing that victory. We're going to take a look at the group now. This is where things are interesting. As the caster said, Omen Elite have won today. They are the winners of this region, but they've not qualified for globals yet. In fact, I believe if Tempo Storm win this match, they're actually tied up going into the last month of the monthly finals. So everything to play for next month. But for now, Tempo Storm, every single moment counts up against IX Gaming. This is it. This is going to be another big, important match. Every single match in this group is important. For IX Gaming, we've got Zar, Crying Man, Second Best, and Chepo. For Tempo Storm, we've got Alec, OG, and Bobby. But let's talk about IX Gaming. Zar admitted that they've been learning from their mistakes for sure. They think more about their comps, and they know that communication is very important. And so IX Gaming are working on all of those areas. It's cool to see them admitting they were a little weaker at first, and to learn how they've grown throughout the year of competition. I can only imagine how good some of these other teams are going to be in the global finals. Let's talk about Tempo Storm, who again are fighting to keep their advantage. Having lost to Omen Elite, things are getting dicey. Alec admitted that this team have been improving at everything since they first started playing together back in 2018. He claims that the biggest strength in the group is chemistry, whereas Bobby said it's thinking of good comps. Maybe that means we'll be seeing some more different type of comps. Here we go, the final match of the weekend starts now.
Thank you very much, Falcone, and what a day it has been for the NA region. These games are absolutely just on fire, Tridd.
Oh, it's been incredible. I mean, you had a bit of a stonker of a series. We had a pretty good one as well. Let's close it out just the same. Surge, Gale, the bans we expect to see finally being taken off the board.
Yeah, I would say so. We saw a little bit of Surge earlier today, but definitely one that teams are wary of, and getting rid of him and Gale, I think, is wise. Going into Minecart Madness, our first map, and obviously the game mode will be Gem Grab.
Minecart Madness, a personal favorite of mine. An extra element, something else to think about is the path of those mines carts. They're going to deal a cool bit of damage to you, so you don't want to be cut off. As we keep mentioning as well, changes have come into the map where you can now shoot through portions of it instead of being fully obscured. You can't pass through it still, so still need to be conscious of that positioning.
Yeah, the rope fences really mixed up this map in particular massively. You know, brawlers like Nanny, which we've seen quite frequently being played on Minecart Madness, would just never have been an option. And Pam as well for lane alongside that. It seems to be a very common choice. For me, a Sprout mid is definitely a really, really good way to round off that comp. Be interesting to see where the teams go for that.
Well, we're jumping into our first game arc. We're going to find out fast, and I see Sprouts on both sides of the field. No Nanny. It's Bo and Pam for IX Gaming, Tempo Storm. They're running out with something similar, except they're bringing the Carl instead of the Pam.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing. For the most part, I would say that these comps work for me. We've seen time and time again the effectiveness of Bo's gadget of Tripmine. So Tripwire coming into play potentially here if Alec is running it, which I assume he will be. And for the most part, it was actually IX Gaming who got the better amount of gems off the bat there. Zar, though, goes down, dropping bolts. That could be easily picked up by Temperstorm here for me.
Gonna press forward here. Alec under the Kosh as well. Won't be found out. Super used as well. 61 HP. One more should do the trick. Can't find that final shot, but it's on Shadar to finish it off. The healing station will go down. They can start to take control of the mid.
He was forced to retreat by a Maverick Sprout shot that was absolutely just shot into the air, catapulted by that minecart there. And IX getting control though now, 8 gems in their pockets and getting ever close to a countdown as Second shuts down that right-hand side, putting pressure on both the mid and the left lanes here.
Yeah, Bobby sitting on that lone gem in the back left corner, can't press forward. Too much of a deficit to come back from just Spawner alone. They have to go for the kills here, Ark. Tempo Storm need to go aggressive, but they're taking so much damage on the entry. Alec drops the mines down, but it's useless. They're not going to press forward into that territory. They've locked off Zar. OG goes in with the spin. They've locked off Second. Can't fight quite the damage, and Alec had to path around the super from Sprout. Couldn't get LOS in time, so unable to follow up. That's going to be IX Gaming taking the first game.
Came down to the wire, but you're right, it had to be a kill on either Second or his teammate there in that countdown moment. And credit to Zara as well to sort of just be a real pest in that moment and just kind of stay on that left-hand side lane, bugging OG and Bobby and tickling down their HP to really whittle them down in those final moments.
Yeah, good attempt there by OG to try and get the kill on at least one of them, but he was acting solo because we couldn't have any of his teammates get into position to help him with the damage. Does mean that IX Gaming take the first game. It's exactly what happened with Omen Elite in our previous series. They took the early game, Tempo Storm, constantly playing catch-up, unable to reach the finish line against Omen Elite, need to change that against IX Gaming and make sure they're staying competitive moving into the next month's final.
Yeah, there's still plenty of brawlers are available here to kind of like, reconvene and collect and decide whether you want to mix up your comp. So I did see Bobby tweeting out this week, however, saying that Gene is a bit underpowered meta-wise, so possibly not going to go towards the Gene pick, although I think it could be an option here if Temperstorm want to dabble in that kind of region. But we have seen OG playing a bit of Nanny every now and again, so there's definitely some choices there for Temperstorm if they want to try to mix things up and save this first set.
Okay, double Mortis. I did not expect to be seeing that on this next game, as they're both looking for some avenue of punishment. But it's a bit of a slambulance here with that Mortis flavor, and it's already IX Gaming pulling ahead. You need to shut down Zara in this one. Crying, heading straight for Alec, cut off by the minecart. It's a saving grace for Tempo Storm. They've lost mid controls. Bobby goes in, finds one kill, gets out with the gems as well. Second, not allowing him to get away with that one. Finds the kill, and we'll have to wait.
Fantastic early awareness from IX here. Their positioning there is that actually second gets stunned. He's actually somehow going to survive.
Bobby's chasing him.
The hill from Zara will keep him alive, and Bobby's in a dangerous spot now.
Oh,
my goodness, we got turned around so quickly there, and it looked like Bobby had a moment there, but now it's Alec who's way out of position here on the right-hand side.
Yeah, should get pinched quite easily here, but Bobby's coming in and clean up. He's going to get that 1 second, finishes him off. He's playing sweeper on these gems. Going back towards the mid. I'm uncertain why he just didn't go for Alec. Gets a heal from Zar. Moves forward. The minecart would have finished him if Second didn't get him himself. Chasing in. Bobby pulled him by the super. Allowing Second to escape with those gems. While this has all been going on, Ark, OG has just been slurping up these gems in the middle.
Yeah, 5 in the pockets for Temperstorm, 6 in the bag for IX Gaming. As Bobby goes in and Zara gets the takedown. That's one more gem if he can get away from the situation in their pocket. 7-5 now. It's going back and forth, and really interesting to see these back and forth Mortis interactions. Credit to Second. We normally see Bobby taking the lead with Mortis, but Second definitely giving him a run for his money.
Oh, there we go. That's what we wanted to see, to clean up on Crying. Still on the back line. Can't quite find Bobby. He's dashed away in time. Gem count relatively even, so this is going to be about mid-control, Arc. There's enough gems in play right now where kills are going to be quite arbitrary. You just need to get control of the mid and you can still win.
Yeah, and it's worth noting as well that it's OG who's placed mines down in the center, and surely you've got to be imagining running tripwire there, and IX have got to be very cautious when it comes to going towards that mid area, and the countdown now in Temperstorm's favor, but 2 can spawn from the mid here. Zara gets stunned. It's not over yet.
They don't need to be chasing them. The minecart's cut off. Zar Crying needs to play a little bit more defensively. They can just win this without. But Second goes aggressive onto the back line. It should be punished by OG. They're going to get away with it one. They need to kill OG. But no, they allow him to get away. The spawner is not going to bring this back for them. Crying. Going to be cut off by the minecart, but he has to stay deep to stay competitive. Second wants to clear him out, but with that kill, the deal has been sealed. Tempo Storm take game number 2.
Yeah, had Zara had a bit more HP, there may have been something that he could have done about it, but as a result, he was too low to really contest OG in a pretty comfortable countdown at the end of things, but definitely not the case for the entire matchup. That one for me was pretty back and forth, pretty intense, and I have no idea, to be completely honest, what these two teams will do regarding their comp in the decider here, because my goodness me, double Mortis is such a risky play, but it did work out quite well for both sides for the most part in that match.
I was really confused though, Ark, at the end. We spoke about it. You know, the gem deficit wasn't that high. You could have played for mid-control and just cancel out the lead. I'm confused as to why IX Gaming chose to go so aggressive, knowing that they'd have to hunt down them kills, get the kills, and escape before the respawns came in with the gems. It seemed like a tall order, and definitely the riskier of the two options when they weren't forced into it.
It was a tight one. I'd have to look back at the exact second. I believe with 15 seconds, 2 can spawn. I think it's about 7, possibly 7 seconds.
No, they absolutely can spawn. They absolutely can. Like, I don't know why they chose to go aggressive. There's probably something we're missing here. We're going to trade out on the back line there. Zar for Bobby as mid-control goes over to Tempo Storm for now.
Let's see what happens, and yeah, Nani making an appearance here, and do not underestimate that. That can come into great effect, especially with Bobby's continuing to run Mortis. If Second can just make sure that he has super, then he'll be actually a really strong counter to Bobby under those circumstances. And there you see the knuckling down the left-hand side. Second going out with the Peep, looking to get some value here as OG's forced into a corner. Boom! Goes the Peep, and down goes OG.
But that is one of the problems with the Peep, though, Ark. Yes, he can get the kills, but it depends on how deep he has to go to get them. If his team's not in a position, you can't recover the gems anyway.
This is the thing now, and Temperstorm forced so far back, and it looks to me like a really good pinch hit from IX, but Cryman going down will change that, as Alec now popping down a healing station to save his HP from further deterioration. He's getting pressure now, and goes down with gems, and Bobby going down too. OG on his own, stun on Zar though, it's going to delay things, but mostly Temperstorm did not get a good transaction there.
Here we go, next Peep, where's it going? All the way around, trying to build up that damage. They don't know which bush Second is hiding in. He actually teleports behind him. Very aggressive from Second, but not finding much value. He gets himself picked off, and it sets IX further back. Gems, even for the time being, so it's not a total loss. They will play around. They have to find this mid-control.
Yeah, the first... Oh, there's the Peep there from Zar picks up straight off the result of that transaction there. Bobby got the sore end of it, and Zar, as a result, will get the countdown in favor of IX, and that is why you can't underestimate the power of Peep.
Kills, kills, kills. 3v1. Can you kill Zar in time? You've got one more dash. He does it just in time, but he won't escape with the gems.
OG going out 6, 100 HP, gets taken down by the minecart. Alec as well. Second is on absolute fire right now, and Bobby is left alone to do this. He's taken down as well. IX Gaming will take surely this first set of gem grab. My goodness me.
That was incredibly back and forth. Tempo Storm nearly had that one in the bag, but IX Gaming pull it back at the end. The Nani pick finding great value because Second just able to demolish members of Tempo Storm. He didn't need to reclaim the gems himself. His team, they didn't either because of how defensive they were playing. They were able to soak up the gems passively, make Tempo Storm aggress them. So if the kills do come in, that gap between Peep, Nani, and the rest of his team is insignificant because they're attacking people entering their territory. It was so good by Alex. I love the TP at the end as well to get behind him and pick up a kill. Didn't find value, but it forced a retreat from Tempo Storm and gave him a lot of pressure in the mid.
Yeah, again, I really got to say, I agree that the Nani pick there played such a big, vital role, and I think Bobby not swapping out from Mortis to something else in order to counter that may have made a slight difference. And there we see the stats, 27 kills for IX Gaming, 6 more than over Temperstorm, but not much in it in terms of gems, 70 gems. These games went on for quite a long time, quite unusual in gem grab to see it so back and forth.
Right, let's take a look at the maps and see where we're going to next. We're heading over to penalty kick, brawl ball next, and I'm already seeing that we're into the game, so we're going to move this one along quite fast, Ark. Let's see, Second, he's going to bring out on the car. We've got the Sprout and the Spike on the side of IX Gaming. The Tempo Storm rocking the Frank, which we've seen a lot of this month when it came down to brawl ball play.
Yeah, no room to breathe, and Alec already trying to find, I think he got stuck in the wall maybe a little bit there. Second going to capitalize either way and get the takedown, but I do like the Frank pick, but it might be IX Gaming who have got the advantage in this position here, as a lot of pressure early on Temperstorm.
Yeah, Zar will move around, OG off to the side, taking a bit of damage. Alec going to walk the ball in. I always forget how tanky Frank is. 10,000 HP is a lot to play around with. Zar, you put him on the wrong side of your wall, and now you might be in trouble. Get out of the range, but this entire time he's sitting in that Spike super. Great cover by Crying.
Yeah, it was a lot of help from Crying, but I've got to say, before that little moment of blunder from Zar, he was hitting some fantastic shots from left to right and using the tiniest of narrow margins to bounce those projectiles off of the wall. But now, look at this. Temperstorm and Chance shut down with the wall, but Alec now surely be able to walk this in. Can they stop it? Yes, they can! Against all the odds, IX Gaming off the line for the save. Wow!
Pain, Ark, pain. He had the health pool to walk it in. It looks like he attempted to pass it or shoot it in the back line, and he just got shot out immediately by a respawning team member from IX Gaming.
And as a result, Bobby's been stuck in that corner, now finally goes down. He's been absent this entire time since that moment. IX now pushing up, OG going down. It's just Alec now, and look at the shots that he is absorbing there. Not even with Sponge as a star power can he do anything about that scenario.
Bobby's holding on. He wants to cut off a slight line from somewhere. He's giving it over to Shah. OG holding on to the ball. Will buy for time right now. 30 seconds remaining. No goals scored. Second's going to go down. OG saw the opportunity, went for it. Pirouette was going to be finding them and getting that kill. Bobby has ball. They're behind Zar. Pass it to Alec. He's going to shoot it on goal. Try and walk it in. Don't pass it. Oh my god, the super was huge by Zar.
What an amazing shutdown, and that was by far the best chance that Temperstorm had all game past the second. A great spot now for IX Gaming. They're just going to position the ball here, wait for the countdown. Look at that wall. That did not pay off well, I feel, for Temperstorm, and Alec now bringing the ball dangerously close to the goal in the final seconds. What's going to happen here?
Overtime, Alex trying to build the super. Second's got control of it. He's got the stun online. Pass in the middle. Stun over Poo. Pass caught by OG. Thankfully, Alec cannot find the kill, but this is incredibly low second who goes on a full retreat. Pressure relieved for Tempo Storm. 45 seconds remaining, and they want to gain territory. Alec will walk the ball up with him.
I can't believe how close these games are, but Alec bringing the ball up on full health past the Bobby. He has super. OG is there for the pickup. He spins, he takes it, he's trying to walk it in. He will just about make it, but my goodness me, that was a close one if you're Temper Storm.
Oh, Tempo Storm able to come out at the end there. It wasn't Alec walking it over the line this time. It was, of course, OG who had a super pass from Bobby to make that work for him. A lot of the problems that came around, I don't think the Frank pick was working out. Alec made a lot of mistakes in the previous game with playing it, not only with that fake or the fail on the goal attempt, but also unable to complete a lot of these goals and abuse that high HP pool. Admittedly, did have a hard time dealing with Zar, who had incredible accuracy on the Sprout that last game.
Zar had an amazing game there for me. I mean, there were so many moments where he made an incredible defensive play or just incredible control by consistently hitting his shots and using the map to just ricochet them across to get further distance. I gotta say, like, IX taking the loss must have been a sour taste there, but they didn't half do a good job of defending the moments that could have easily equated to goals.
Well, there we have it, moving into game number 2 of Brawl Ball. Let's see the changes. I don't want to see the Frank, and we're not going to see it. Looks like the Max is coming in instead for Tempo Storm.
To be honest, I think that's probably wise. I think Frank can be absolutely viable here, but Alec just definitely wasn't getting much of a result from it, and it's going to switch out to Max, and I think that's going to help a lot, giving that unpredictability, that speed dash that Temper Storm desperately need here.
Okay, well, they're going to move forward on this one. Zar looking around. I'm looking towards second, who's caught off guard by OG, and now Zar is solo. Don't want to be in this position. The wall brings him closer once again. That's the second time we've seen Zar do that, where he's tried to wall off an opponent, but he's done it a second too late and forced him closer to him, spelling his own doom. Yeah,
and OG playing Carl is not a brawler that you want to make that mistake, because OG capitalized with quick pickaxe strikes back and forth, and it didn't take long for that takedown.
Well, Second's going to take down some of his own, clear some space. Zar with the pass, going for the offside. Second nearly had the angle, but Bobby got back just in time. He's going to go all the way back into the goal to get those heals after the speed boost from Alec. Not found a kill yet. OG goes aggressive with the spin. Takes control of the ball to make sure that IX Gaming can't do anything with this. And now they're going for a pincer. Alec is behind enemy lines. Dashes forward. Second is back on the field. So he can't go for an attempt at goal.
Yeah, Alec forced back there, and that's one gadget down for him. He would like to be saving them for those chances to make those goals count, but it led from a really important takedown from OG, because actually if he hadn't have made that right-hand side lane clear for them to push up, then it may have been a different case, but as a result, Temper Storm just going to reset here, try to gain some supers and to try to even things out for another push.
Down the middle now, moving forward. And 45 seconds remaining on this one. It's OG going to be sitting in the middle, but it's Bobby who finds that kill. The ball was placed in the back right corner this entire time, and that's where IX Gaming are keeping it for the time being. Crying Unable to support second. He will throw in that super to make it work, though. The ball's still in the back right corner. Second just gaining position. They need to look at this. I think IX Gaming are going to play for overtime, Ark.
Yeah, and second does some great moments there. Despite being shut off by Zara with the wall, he managed to pick up a double kill. And I think for me, IX are in a great spot. They've got the ball in their corner, but if they don't start to bring it out and start to continue to regain this mid control here, now second will do it. That's smart, but I think already Bobby spotted it, and he's going to come out as well. This could end disastrously for IX if they go down in overtime here. The ball is not in a good spot for them right now.
That was a waste of a super. Second pulled the trigger on that one way too early, missing a crucial resource. The ball is still in the goal line of Tempo Storm. Any cannons here that come in, it's going to be a massive problem. OG clears out second. He wants to find more. They've isolated Zara in the corner, bounces it off to find him. OG is doing so much right now, Ark, and he's got a shot on goal. He just needs to get it in, passes it, and weaves it out. Tempo Storm going to take the set and equalize the match.
My heart was in my mouth a little bit because I felt like it was going to be OG that would super in to get the ball or in a position to pass it in. He didn't. He went for Zara instead, and there was a moment there where I thought that might come back to haunt them, but Bobby with the pass there, and OG, credit to him as well. One of that pickaxe shot from second best would have seen him taken down, so a nice juke to stay alive, and he didn't hesitate to make sure that he shot the ball right in that corner so that it was going to make that goal count for Tempo Storm. But I can just feel the pressure mounting right now between these teams, and you can't forget, right? This is massively important for Tempo Storm to win this match. If they don't do that, it's going to affect the points so much in their rivalry against Omen Elite.
Let's take a look at the map, though. We're going to move to Canal Grand next, and you're right, Ark, this is Tempo Storm. Looks like they're facing IX Gaming, but really, when you pull out a level, they're still facing Omen Elite. This is just how it's going to work now until we decide that final spot. Bounty's the next location. We see a lot of different approaches to this one. The biggest vice that a lot of teams fall into on this map in particular is this canal down the middle. It splits up the field and it allows for a lot of pinches to come in.
Yeah, it's really going to be interesting. So we are going to see Tempo Storm go straight in with the Rosa comp. No Poco there, so bear that in mind. But, you know, Rosa getting behind your opponents and causing problems from the spawn. And OG is laying down these bushes to really, contribute towards that unpredictability. And look at this. Zar wasn't expecting a second as well. Pinch between him and Bobby. This could be a great chance for Tempo Storm. But OG goes down. A little bit of misguided aggression there, I feel.
Well, thankfully, Bobby's here to save the day with an equalizer onto Zara, and I agree with you on that one, Ark. That was a bit overzealous from Tempo Storm, and well played to IX Gaming to capitalize on that one. Now it's Tempo sitting in the position of power. Great head first will clear some of these brushes and open up the information of where OG is going to be hiding. Zara finds that clearance as well, so now IX Gaming wrestle back control.
Yeah, the takedown to Bobby there was a really nice placed wall there from second to really pinch him down. OG coming in. Alec has super. This would be a great chance. Alec with the pickup. Doesn't even need to go, but the stun! The stun! The tripwire stun will go out and knock that one back, and turning it around as quickly as that back in favor of IX Gaming.
They are not losing control of this one, Ark. Bobby gets eroded by Zar. Again, extending that lead to 5 stars. They need to figure out a way to do this pinch in overtime when they got supers online. Alec is going to take a lot of damage on the entry here. He needs to back off, otherwise he will go down. Bobby comes in to body block some of that damage, but now he's vulnerable himself after sipping on the wires, and oh no. IX Gaming with 12 to 5 stars right now. This is not looking good. Alec goes aggressive. What are you doing, man? You had no chance of getting away with that one. IX Gaming are completely in control of this.
I've got to say, I've got to hand to IX here. They are placing Tempo Storm in positions where they are forced to tank shots for their own teammates and then forcing them as a result of that into a even more perilous position themselves. And look at the scoreboard. Not the start that Tempo Storm need right now on a set equal 1-1. This is going to put out IX in front now and potentially one game away from taking it 2 sets to 1.
There we have it. IX Gaming take the lead in Bounty in a dominant performance. Tempo didn't ever, I don't think Tempo ever looked like they had control of that map, Ark, and that's disastrous for them if they're trying to pull out this one and get this match win. I don't think this comp is right for them. I understand there's a lot of comfort on here But when you're going up against the amount of throwers, there's no terrain to hide behind. You've got Char setting down these beautiful mines to be using with the tripwire as well. You can't get away with this one. I think they need to change up their comp running into the next game.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, actually. I think that for me, Temper Storm's kind of like slambulance idea without the heal, of course, not really working out.
It's just a truck. It's not a slambulance. It's just a truck. Like...
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would absolutely agree with that. And now the question is, going with something more control or long range, maybe Mortis might even come out if Bobby feels like it's a time to do so. I'm not sure considering the score, but it is a possibility considering that IX are playing Tick, but we'll have to see. But a change definitely needed for Temper Storm.
Okay, they have made the change now. They're going over Tick and Sprout themselves, but they also have the Jackie instead of the bow.
Yeah, that's smart for me. I mean, Tick countering with another Tick is never a bad thing, but yeah, Jackie still is a very aggressive brawler, and IX seemed to capitalize on that fact in the previous game. But Zar now in a perilous spot here. Bobby couldn't connect and is forced to retreat though.
If Alec gets control of the mid right now, he could potentially go for some kind of pinch. He's running straight at Crying. There's no support there until Zar moves into position. But they have given up mid control because of Alec's aggression. He's creating so much space for this team to operate in right now.
Great jukes from Alec, though, staying alive and now in still a really good spot to go for Cryman, but Zar is well aware of that and waiting, and now Cryman has super, so Alec forced to retreat. But again, I feel like the aggressive comp is a bit of a risk if your Temper Storm, as IX seem to be thriving, and down goes Alec, and that is going to bring the stars back into IX's favor 4-1.
I feel like he was putting his hand in some seriously hot water, Ark. Yeah, it's fine to do for a couple of seconds, but if you leave it there for too long, you're going to get burnt, and that's exactly what happened to Alec. He played around with Crying so much trying to look for that kill, and eventually just got punished, and IX Gaming expand their lead further. This is just looking reminiscent of game number 1.
It's looking a little bit like that way as OG goes down as well. 12-1 is a mighty lead if you're IX Gaming, and surely now looking to end this one on a high. I think OG is going to struggle there again. It's a second, not showing any signs of slowing down. Popping gadget, down goes OG. My goodness me, it's an onslaught from IX right now, Tridd.
IX Gaming are the kings of kiting right now, Ark. They are keeping tempo perpetually at arm's length. And when you're relying so much on the Jackie to find value for you, it's disastrous. Great reclamation there by OG to take out second and close the gap. They still need to find 7 stars, but that's not as many on the board. Tempo Storm take the second game, and they will move to match point.
IX Gaming now, all eyes on this one, because this is going to make a massive difference in terms of how the NA region will play out here. We already saw today Omen Elite having a fantastic day of things, picking up maximum points. So the outcome of this actually plays a massive part in what happens next.
They can look at some replays from that previous round as well. It's an IX Gaming highlight reel, quite frankly. As we're looking towards map number 4, let's pull it up and have a look at some stats first, actually. Look at that damage difference, Ark. Nearly 3 times the amount of damage that Tempo are able to deal.
That is a mighty scoreboard. 4 times the kills, twice as many stars. I mean, that was a pretty one-sided affair for me, and we'll have to see going into Heist whether that might favor more and cater into Temper Storm's playstyle. Tornado Ring is the map.
All right, Nanny, BB, and go ahead and throw in a Carl. On the other side, we have Spike, Barley, and B for Alec. Now, we saw what Seconds did with this Nani on Minecart Madness, and we're hoping for a similar performance this time around. Think about what the Peep can do to a safe, which is entirely free damage to throw in, or potentially teleport behind enemy lines with the gadget. It's such a versatile pick as long as you don't get overrun by this team.
Yeah, gotta say though, I do like the B pick, but down goes Alec there, and that might make a big difference. Zar goes down there as well. Cryman knocking Bobby to the side. That's gonna pop gadget to stay alive in the mid here, but
Comes the Peep.
Yeah, here comes Peep, watch out. He's gonna do the teleport. He's gonna teleport.
Safe. Yeah. Oh no, TP'd!
Yeah.
Okay, so that's always got to be the gamble, and that's going to be a bit of a problem for Tempo Storm. They have to figure out whether the Nanny is going to go for the explosion or the teleport, and that decides what they do, because they can't punish it if they think that he's going to teleport behind them. If they teleport, someone has to answer, but if he's just going to bomb, they have to go aggressive. It's such a conundrum that Tempo Storm will have to figure out every time he slaps the super on.
Yeah, I think it's a really smart choice here, and it might be well decided. But look at this, Temperstorm going in here. OG couldn't quite get close enough. He wants to pop his gadget. I know the damage that he's thinking of dealing here, and he just wants to win side. His teammates down for support. This is great from Temperstorm, as the damage will start to rain in here, surely. Alec getting shots on Cryman as well, and then replacing those amplified shots onto Zar is a disastrous thing for Ajax to have to deal with on defense right now.
Okay, peep number 2 for second. He needs to find something big here. You can see Temperstorm going back. He's going to go for the teleport as well. Damage comes back, finds cover, gets it down. Still 20% between them and IX Gaming, but he keeps keeping that gap competitive. So it's on IX Gaming to move forward, but the safe is being damaged regardless. They haven't cleared out Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby is raining down shots, still ticking away, and it's surely Temperstorm now, I think. A bit of a slip from IX. They've missed this. Bobby on his own here. It's going to be close, but Bobby continuously just raining shots down and giving Temperstorm a little bit of hope still to go. We might be going the whole hog here as Temperstorm 1 win of Heist away from taking it to the 5th and final set.
Okay, so every time the Nani went in, you got about 20 to 30% worth of damage, but you had that slow burn from Tempo. They were constantly able to get OG and get Bobby in position with the Barley, with the Spike, and burn through the safe so much faster. Alec is able to assassinate Nani on this B because the damage, Nani does not have the HP to be messing this around with.
Yeah, not at all. And I think that for me, Nani's a bit of a risk here. I think that B is a far more staple diet brawler. Max is actually going to come up from Alec, and I think that's also a good brawler pick here. Max could have been actually on IX's minds here, and I think looking back at this, they might have considered playing it a bit more. I do like what I'm seeing from Temperstorm right now.
Okay, second. Okay, he's dealing damage to OG, who's dancing around, trying to dodge away from this one. Super online, you know what that means. Gonna back all the way off and look for an opportunity to pop the super. Alec gets caught off as well. They have the man advantage. They're gonna clear out OG. Oh, they don't get the kill. But wait, they've locked down Bobby. This is huge for IX Gaming, and it gives Shah the position to be able to go ahead and drop his super and whittle away at the tempo safe.
Yeah, gotta say, that could have ended a lot worse for Temperstorm there, and OG staying alive for the most part, but got shredded down by Cryman surprisingly quickly, I've got to say, as second gadgeting in here for support.
Oh, I love it. I love what Alec did there. He's using the gadget to try and catch the Peeps' travel path to shut down this teleport that comes in deep. But he forced second into a wall there. They didn't want to blow up the cover, so he ended up gadgeting away. This is so smart from Alec because he knows he can tank the damage with his gadget shield.
Yeah, Alec playing fantastically well today, and yeah, a great attribute to Max's gadget is that during that dash you are invincible, you can tank anything, and forcing then IX's hand, a really smart play from him as the approach from Temperstorm here. Going out again.
Alex, see, that's what I'm talking about. He catches it. He is shutting down this Nani and Peep. Every time, he just needs to get a beeline on where the Peep is and he can win it out. And now look what Bobby's able to do with the BB. The bubblegum on the back line, bouncing off the board, gives Temperstorm the lead. This looks like we're going to a map 5.
Alex looking there got quite a bit of damage in the result. He was doing a smart play there, healing up in that one tile here. But now look at this, Cryman going in. Bobby going to go in as well and can't get the takedown on the second. He's going to teleport. Bobby now, look at this. How much damage will he get here? He's going to line up 1,
Too much damage.
3. Is it more? There it is. Temperstorm keeping it alive!
Oh, Temperstorm forcing us to match number 5. Alec providing the perfect solution to shut down second Nani. He didn't get a single opportunity to teleport to the safe because both BB and Alec were there to catch and force his hand.
What is in the NA water this month? I mean, this is just insane to watch. Temperstorm taking it to the 5th and final set, and look at those stats there as well. The kills definitely in favor on their side, as well as the damage on the safe.
The damage is relatively even, but the safe damage is what the big difference maker is.
Yeah, exactly. And this final set then to wrap up the day. But what an important set it is going to be. It is going to be decided on Siege, the map, some assembly required.
Coming down to the wire, Temperstorm need this win to stay competitive against Omen Elite in our final monthly final. Let's see him move out onto Siege as we're going to have them roll out on a similar composition. Alec moving back onto the Frank this time around. That's a triple. That's a lot of damage coming out there for IX Gaming. Very vulnerable if they get caught here.
Yeah, and already look at this. Temperstorm a bit on the back foot as IX getting a lot of mid control. Alec will pick up one, and that might just be enough to draw out this set. Let's see what happens here.
I actually think Bobby accidentally DC'd there at the beginning because he was missing from this entire first bit of engagement, and they gave up so much mid control and this first bot. That's disastrous for tempo.
Yeah, tight spot. Bobby might pull this, but he's a bit low on health if he does. Let's see what happens here. Azar getting a lot of damage. That's a pretty gnarly first push for me from IX Gaming.
Bobby holds on to the magic hand, realizes he could find more value at this re-entry. They have to get control of the mid, otherwise they're never going to get bolts on the board. We're such a vulnerable team. If he can just dodge the damage and get a pull, he's going to be able to take one of these out quite quickly.
Yeah, not the greatest of starts here for Temperstorm for me, and like they've got to start to get mid control. Bobby needs to maybe work together with
What's Alec doing over here?
Out of position right now, and Zai able to capitalize, and surely there's the takedown as well.
Yeah,
6 bolts in the bag right now. This is IX written all over it, and not a good spot to be where you Temperstorm. I mean, if Temperstorm do go on to lose against IX here, they will be looking at a position where there'll be 20 points difference between themselves and Omen, but not a good start going into the next month.
Oh, not at all. So we're going to see that drop around about 25%. No, I'm wrong. It's dropping all the way down because of the last call. A couple more bottles will seal it for IX Gaming.
Yeah, this is really, really disastrous right now for Temperstorm. Bobby taking hits, forced to pop the gadget, but it's not going to be enough. Second will still get the hits, and Alec all alone here. Surely going to go down to second here as that super will tick down. 7 bolts, 8 bolts, 9 bolts more. There's nothing Temperstorm can do about it now.
All right, it's all over. 4 seconds. IX Gaming, they get the last siege. It's all about whether they can finish it off, and he just throws in the last call for good measure. He might win it off with just that alone. IX Gaming don't even need that final siege bot. They're going to call it quits and take game number 1. One more game gives them the victory today.
I mean, if you're Temperstorm right now, you've got to be thinking throwers. Surely we've seen the might of Barley coming back into the meta, the power of his new gadgets. The tonic healing goes such a long, long way. And I've got to say, without a thrower on your team, you are really going to struggle in this one. Definitely a rethink in terms of their brawler lineup for me to stand any chance of taking this 2 more games in, which is what Temperstorm are going to have to do to win it.
Lots of vulnerable brawlers on the field.
Yeah.
A man with a penchant for playing Mortis. Will it come out this game? Is that the gamble they're prepared to take with this match point on the line?
I do not think that would be wise. I mean, if you're IX, you might do it as a troll, but I think for me, Frank has not dwelled well at all for Temperstorm. They've got to remove that brawler and think it through with a thrower, probably Barley. Okay, so an early start there for Temperstorm. Alec in the bank about better. OG going with the Barley pick for me is definitely wise here. Zar with an early gadget use of healing tonic there. Bobby gonna bank maybe before going down? No!
Oh,
bank will
no,
stay and second will pick it up.
Right, there we go. Level 2 siege bot coming in for IX Gaming. So early lead once again. They're matching him on the throwers arc. They got the max on the Alec. He's taken out. He's not fast enough, apparently. Bobby has the magic hand online. He's looking for a position to pull the siege bot away and buy some more time. In fact, no, he sits on it because he's already too late. 83% are going to lose a little bit more HP as the last call comes in, bringing it down to 72. Much better defense so far by Temperstorm, but they've got a long way to go.
A long way to go. Alex picking up bolts, but I really feel like Bobby needs to start working together with his teammates on these pulls. We haven't really seen any effectiveness from the June. There's a pull!
There we go!
And the bolt is saved. A great moment for Temperstorm to get back in this mix.
Keeping the bolt count competitive as well as they take control of more and more of the mid game, but losing Alec there is horrible for them. Thankfully, the RNG is in their favor as OG will bank it, forcing them to have that level 6 siege bot. They need to find value here because IX Gaming have that lead with what could be the final siege.
Yeah, they've got to start to really get some damage going down the IX. But look at this, a great slowdown super.
It didn't even connect.
Wow.
What a defense there from IX Gaming. Thankfully, OG had the long-range damage to be able to find some value. It's coming down to the last siege. They have to win this Bolt contest, otherwise it's game over for all of them.
What a great ball from Bobby, but Alex so weak that Bolt was just not able to be banked by him as a result. And look at this. They've got to get every single Bolt here, and they are doing it, but not really. Look at this, 10 seconds left. 9 to IX, 7 to Temperstorm.
Wait, Alec can go with Sweeper. They might have done enough. This is it. They can bank these bolts. They're going to have that last siege.
Oh my goodness, me boy went
They get it. They get it.
It was banked just in time. And look at this. Can IX do much about it?
Oh, Bobby killed Zar.
Shut down, Tridd.
Oh, here we go. Tempo Storm. They have to make the connection. They've shut down the body. The respawns are coming in. They'll have some damage to deal with it, but it is there. Tempo Storm with match point on the line. They do not blink, and they will take us to that third and final game.
What is happening today, Tridd?
Finally! You wanted some value from the gene pools. That was a game of value for Bobby and the Magic Hands.
Can you imagine now being IX Gaming? It's deja vu happening all over again, but not with Omen Elite this time, with Temperstorm. Are they going to come last this week based on what came down to the very final game of the very final set twice over?
I don't know, it feels, honestly, if you're IX Gaming, you feel like you're third wheeling your best friend's date right now, because you're an accessory to the story that is Omen Elite versus Tempo Storm, and you're losing to both of them in 5-map series that go down to the wire. It's absolutely crushing right now. They have to come out with a win here, otherwise this is gonna hit them hard.
So much is at stake, and I just can't believe the way that this is wrapping up in the North American region right now. This is just absolutely crazy. But taking it back down here, what are the choices? Are you going to change brawlers? Are you going to stick? What are you thinking right now?
Well, they're thinking that they're going to stay with the exact same thing, and they're going to play it out once more. Tempo Storm, IX Gaming, for what should be the last time today.
My goodness me, so we're going to come down this early start. Alec gets the bolt there as well. Bobby goes down to second, which will draw it out. OG on the left-hand side, they're going to bank surely this one. So maybe the start will be in Temperstorm's favor.
OG locked in a corner, bit of a pinch coming in from Zar, but he still finds a way to wiggle away. Bolt advantage over the Tempo Storm. They get a couple of kills for good measure, and they get a level 3 siege bot. OG sitting on the last call. They need to get him in range to find that extra damage.
Not only did they get the siege bot, they took a nice little takedown second, preventing him from banking a bolt there, and that one might come back to help Temperstorm in the long run. Bobby has pulled, not the start at all for IX Gaming. Bobby, if he gets one pull here, I think that Temperstorm will have this round as well.
Went for the pull. You just saw him throw it out there. Zar was able to back away and not fall victim to it this time. Now Tempo Storm is starting to waver. Last call's going to find OG. He shouldn't be able to bank that bolt, and second can move forward to try and grab it, but Bobby has the damage at point blank range. They need to find him. They can't let him bank it. 10 seconds remaining, and he moves it up to a 5-3 scoreline, but the mid control is in favor of IX.
It's going to be 5 bolts each. I think if those bolts go out, Bizarre, is going to be a tied round here.
OG's going to bank it. OG banked it.
Wow.
Oh, there we go. Banked it in time. It came in just a second too late. It just means that now we got that level 6 siege bot coming in. A chance to answer back. But no one from IX Gaming is in position to really capitalize on this one. So it's not going to be as deep as they need it to be. Tempo Storm sitting on 7 bolts coming into the start of our last siege.
I think Temperstorm in a great spot, but they've got to get a bit of control in the next 25 seconds. They've got to get something. Bobby needs to make a pull. OG going out with the super is good. It will open up the map a little bit for Temperstorm, but they do need to bank something, otherwise it could be a draw here.
Look at how safe they are playing. They're so afraid of Bobby because they saw what happened last time, and it happens again. Tempo Storm. They have not the edge, but they have the bolt lead. 10-5, 3 seconds remaining. Second cannot close the gap in time. It is all about the defense right now as Zar moves in position to find a last call to hopefully send them over the line. Defense, defense, defense for IX Gaming.
Bobby staying alive is so crucial here, but just look at second cycling with a second wall here. The pull from Bobby is good, though. I think surely Temperstorm will capture.
They've done enough!
They will do it, Tridd! They've done it! They are safe!
Tempo Storm come out down to the wire, out with the victory. They will walk away with second place at this monthly final.
Oh my goodness me, I think I need a brain transplant because it is entirely mush right now. Temperstorm did bring out the goods just at the very nick of time to give themselves a bit of a chance in next month's qualifier as the rivalry between them and Omen Elite will continue.
Ooh, wow, what a series that was. North America shaping up to be one of the most competitive regions that we have in terms of this infighting they have, and I'm super excited for the region, and I want to see how that level of competition shapes up on the global stage. Let's take a look at that stat line though. IX Gaming, they had the damage, they had the kills, heck, they even had the bolts, and they couldn't come out with a victory on that map arc.
You hate to see it, Tridd. I mean, how often is it when you look at 3 lines of stats all in your favor and you still fail at the final hurdle twice this month? A bad day for IX Gaming, a great day for Omen Elite, a pretty good day for Temperstorm, but we're going to go to Falcone now to see this one out.
What a day of Brawl Stars we have had today. Temperstorm take this one down. They're taking second place, which means the competition just gets fiercer and fiercer. Let's take a look at our MVP for the final match of the weekend, and it's going to be Bobby, who was incredible throughout that last series. Bobby played a really aggressive Mortis in game 2 of Gem Grab, but you know what? We love to see it. It worked out beautifully. He switched to Sprout in Brawl Ball and really managed to get that DPS in against defenseless opponents. Bobby switched over to Barley in Heist, raining in the damage on the enemy safe with that disgusting super, whittling it down completely on his own. Later switching to BB, where he wailed on that safe, completely wiping it out. And then in the final set of the day in Siege, Bobby played some Gene and really pushed that damage onto the enemy Ike, securing the victory against IX Gaming. Oh my goodness, let's take a look at the bracket one last time for this group and see how things have shaken out. Yes, Omen Elite did take down both of the other teams, but with Temperstorm conquering IX Gaming, this group could go anywhere in the final month of our towards global championships. Woo! Prize pool, $9,000 going to Omen Elite, along with that hope. The hope that if they keep this going, they will be seeing us at global finals. Only one more month of competition between them and the big prize. $2,000 for Temperstorm, $1,250 for IX Gaming. But now this is what we want to see. The leaderboard. Omen Elite are now ahead of Temperstorm by only 10 points. Literally anything could happen in this group next month. You cannot miss the next month of competition. Believe me, that is one that you are going to want to see. Europe and also North America and LATAM North both completely open up for their last qualifier for global finals. We will be back next month for the final monthly finals. Make sure you are subscribed to Brawl Stars on YouTube. Make sure you check out Brawl Talk. I think that's happening tomorrow. There's a timer up and ready to go. I cannot wait to see what's coming to Brawl Stars next month. But finally, from the whole production team, from Ark, from Tridd, from Woody, and from myself, we hope you've enjoyed the show, and we cannot wait to see you again next month.